Hey guys, and welcome to a one-off Death Before Dishonour no greenskins special. Yes, that's out there for you guys who hate those pesky greenskins and are tired of seeing them in every single competitive best of 3 in history of the last, I don't know, it feels like 17 years. Well, we've taken out the pesky green boys and we're coming in with some pretty awesome combatants, and we've had a bucket ton of upsets, and I do generally think that is quite likely down to the fact there are no greenskins and so many people are well versed in them, well versed in counterpicking them, and all of a sudden you're coming against factions you don't see so regularly. And up first we have the Might of Ludwig facing off against Ice Power, two true champions, and it looks like Dark Elves are picking and banning first. These guys say it's been a while since they faced. Should be a fun one. We're here on Troll Country. The next maps will be Pillar of Bone and Eschen. And up after this we have Deadly Bunnies facing the winner of For Poland or Storm Runner. I'm very, very excited. So Icepower has gone Dark Elves, as is to be expected from him, banning Bretonnians and Wood Elves. It's quite a close quarters map though, so it's not going to be able to skirmish too well with Scourge-Runner Chariots and other such units. So it's going to be interesting to see who Ludwig does pick here to counterplay. Hope you guys are doing good today though. I'm very excited. What up, what up? Hello CJ, what's up Viking Banana? Nick, Spooky Skelly Skeleton, Ludwig himself, Captain Morgan the God, CJ, how are you going buddy? And the Dutch Flavour, Jupiter, Jeff. Oh my god, there's so many people in here already. Team Scoped Gaming, Calabout as well. And it looks like we've got a few more people up top who I'm not sure if they're still here. Swiss Pikeman, Abdiol, Sharif, and Kwang. Hope you guys are all good. And I hope you guys are excited to see some no greenskin action. Ice Power is Ice Power, of course. I'm doing very well, CJ. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking, man. I'm just going to grab my phone. I always do this. I always put my phone on charge, like, oh, I'll need it for the stream. And then I never get it off charge. Looks like Ludwig is going to Empire. So back in 2 seconds. And then with my phone, I'll be able to see your beautiful faces. And we're back. We're back. Oh my god. Is that a rare one in the distance? Mr. Ronin has appeared. The God of War himself emerging from the milky shadows. Hopefully he'll bless us with some more tournament action soon. I think you're taking a bit of a break, Ronin. Was it you who was struggling to get a PC together? Oh, you always got to make it to see your boy Ice do well. Ice Power is the one of the forefronts of Dark Elves in general in competitive Warhammer, and it's really quite funny because he's constantly talking about how underpowered they are, yet he wins a lot of tournaments with them, which is interesting from an onlooker. And I do think Dark Elves are in a pretty weak situation, and maybe people don't really prepare to take them on because I don't think that many players are going to bring Dark Elves to the multiplayer tournament scene, and all of a sudden Ice Power comes out of nowhere and takes some scalps. So it's certainly worth remembering that even factions which are slightly less powerful in the current meta still can pack a punch and do a ton of damage. Pineapple, pineapple indeed. Ronin, the Lord of Pineapples. I haven't seen Ludwig play in quite some time. He did have some streams a long time ago. Really lovely dude though, did get me involved in the biggest tournament as well, a tournament which happened a long time ago, and I was streaming some of the games from it, which was quite good fun. So yeah, always a good member of the community. Quack, quack, what's up, Bowmore? No greenskins has been refreshing. It looks like you had a good tournament, man. I think you managed to take someone out. I can't remember the full bracket. I'll look it up after this. But I seem to remember you were taking a pretty big scalp in your first game. I may be mistaken, though. As a tradition, we will be on Troll Country. Blood, thunder, all that glorious stuff. Oh no, I moved and I found a job. Don't have my PC with me right now. Oh no! Should come back to the scene a little bit. Well, that's good to hear, Ronan. We certainly need to see some of your OP Wood Elves in action. Wood Elves aren't actually generally that OP in my opinion. They're very good, but in the hands of someone like Roman or Dacta, then all of a sudden they elevate themselves up a level a little bit. So I think Ice Power is relatively ready. Because they need ready up and then stop his ready up. Now this matchup as a whole, I feel like Ludwig is going to go very heavy on the cavalry. Knights Blazing Sun, Empire Knights. He doesn't need Demigryphs or anything kind of crazy like that. But in such a close quarters map, he's really going to be able to bomb rush the Dark Elves and pressure them quite badly. And Dark Elves tend to perform really well when they can protect those armor-piercing long-range weapons. Repeated crossbows, shades, dark shards, all that good stuff. And that's certainly hard to do on a map such as Troll Country. But, you know, he decided to pick them, so I'm sure he's got one or two tricks up his sleeve. We may see the classic Ice Power double Manti Kyle with Marathi up in the sky. And I can see that doing relatively solid here. Again, could be netted and shot down, though. And eventually going to have to land right to get their value. And then all of a sudden you get charged by knights, and it can become rather messy. Ducky, did you see Logic's tourney yesterday? Yes, I did. So I was at work for the start, so I couldn't compete. But I came home and I saw, I think, the last semi-final and final. Just had a really fun series with Ludwig. He pulled it back in an ace match. Oh, man. Man, Ludwig is a dangerous combatant. So you did rather well, I think. But, yeah, if any of the games were really good, feel free to send them across. That goes for anyone who did play in this tournament. We do accept replays in my Discord, link down below in the description. And they got a chance then being cast up on the channel. I still need to do a replay for today. I think I'm actually going to do a greenskin replay. Considering we're not doing any greenskins today, just to mix it up a bit. And still show my love for the little orcs and the goblins. As I do really love greenskins thematically, it's just in every single tournament we've held recently, every single best of 3 has at least one greenskin matchup, normally 2, and it gets a little bit tiring after a while. So we thought we'd mix it up, have some fun. This isn't part of the regular DBD, Death Before Dishonor tournament series, so we're just doing like a standalone, seeing how it goes. I mean, if people really do enjoy the no greenskins kind of aspect, I'll consider it. I don't really want to pull them out of tournaments, though they are currently, I think, by a fairly reasonable margin. I think it's kind of bad to say that. I don't think anyone can really argue it. The most powerful. I don't like removing factions. I don't like removing characters, units, that type of stuff, because they're all dangerous, slippery slope and stop so many styles of play. So I'm happy to have greenskins for the most part in tournaments, but if people now and again do want tournaments which are a little bit more themed, no greenskins, elves only, good guys only, bad guys only, that kind of stuff, then you know, we can certainly look into that. I had an idea ages ago of a good versus evil team tournament, which could be good fun. I think next week, actually, me and Fly and Taco might co-cast, which is really exciting. Taco's a true champ of the people, and we might do a XMT DBD special or something. We'll have to wait and see. But wait, for the forces of Ludwig, is it as we expected? Well, there's a ton of Empire cavalry. Looks like 2 Empire knights on either flank. Cheap, cheerful, happy to be here and fight in the name of Sigma. Then we have double outriders with grenade launchers. These guys, I promise you, pack a horrific punch. They will annihilate Dark Elf infantry in a matter of seconds. Main battle line is made up of Sigma sons and less stalwart warriors as well, but still, nonetheless, brave men. Swordsmen, spearmen dotted all the way along, with some flagellants in the mix. So I like the mixture of unbreakable and kind of cheap troops. We have double war wagons in the back here, as well as a Grey Wizard currently hiding right next to a war wagon. Coming in with Melkov's Mystified Miasma and Pendulum. I really love the synergy of his build with those fast-moving war wagons and outriders with Melkov's to slow people down. Good stuff for sure. And we have Volkmar the Grim. Very angry fellow all round. Grand Soulfire, Grand Shield of Faith, Grand Hammer of Sigma, all that good stuff. Now for the forces of Ice Power, it is not what you expect. No Morathi, no Mantikyles, what is this? Instead, we have Dreadspears and Bleak Swords dotted along the front line, and then gone a little bit more stagnant. We have the Dark Shards with shields. Here, going to be doing some good trade on those outriders with grenade launchers. More spears in the back line, a bucket ton of cavalry in the form of Cold One Dread Knights. Dark Riders, 2 Cold One Dread Knights. Now, Ice Power use this against my Lizard Men. These guys are a pain. 120 armor. Empire Knights are going to do absolutely nothing to them. And without the huge AP that normally comes in from handgun and silver bullets, they could certainly be a big problem. Double Reaper Bolt throws as well. And up in the skies, Malekith on the dreaded dragon. Coming in with Gaze of Malice, Soul Stealer, and Noxious Breath. Really cool build, actually, and I think this is going to take the Empire player off course a little bit, because this is not what I expected on a map such as this. No advantages in the numbers game. Oh no, do they have... They both have 980 troops exactly. That is hilarious. So it's really going to come down to the skill of the warriors. Ice Power bringing out the questing dinos, indeed. Indeed. What's up, Harmon? How's it going, buddy? Oh, Mr. Flying Taco, we were just talking about you as well. I was telling the people of... Hopefully we'll be doing a co-cast stream next week. It'll be good fun. The time of death before Dishonor has ended. Now is the age of death before playing greenskins. Man, I'm loving the dragon. What's up, Poison Ducky? Quack quack. Pineapple and ducks all round. Got a little cuff fan, lads. There is no need to wait for me, but I'll just pop that in there so they know just in case. A little sip of my drink. Who's your money on, lads? I honestly think the Dark Elves have won the build fight. I think it's certainly possible for both factions to win this, but I really like this Dark Elf build. This is such a big pain in the butt. Really, bolt throws can target down the war wagons relatively effectively, and those poor outriders want to come in and start assassinating the bleak swords and the dread spears. They're going to get pushed back by dark shards, and Malekith up in the skies coming down on top of Volkmar will certainly be able to win that engagement, at least I would think. But the pick of the Cold One Dread Knights is so good here. There's like nothing in this build going to take them down. I suppose the war wagons can do decent damage. Empire Knights will get slaughtered though, and the Outrider grenade launchers aren't meant to deal big damage to huge heavily armoured cavalry, although they still can do some pretty good work. Bolt throws instantly start targeting a war wagon each, some of them connecting and doing some decent shots. Outriders have pushed up though, and these poor bleak swords do try to juke. Beautiful micro there by Ice Power. Managing to get out of the way of the worst of the blast, but even so, taking huge casualties straight out the gate. Now these guys are retreating through the fire and the flames. That is not good for them whatsoever. Dark shards do pop up. Outriders, though, pull back. Looks like the micromanagement of both players is going to be on their top game. War wagons continue to pepper in. The Outriders with grenade launchers getting slaughtered and nearly breaking from some of the pressure coming in. Looks like Malekith is just floating around for now, eyeing up the prize. More grenade launchers coming onto those bleak swords, and it looks like they were meant to clear the path so the Empire State troops could kind of walk through onto any back lines. But due to these dark shards, due to the bolt throws forcing away the skirmish core of the Empire forces, it is looking a little rough in the initial engagements, but there is still plenty left to go. And a bit of a mistake by Ice Power. Dark shards are starting to push forward alongside the bleak swords. It looks like he does remember them and pull back. Cold One Dread Knights charging on top of those swordsmen, going to be snapping at their necks, ripping their limbs from their bodies, and the Cold One Dread Knights going to take very little damage here. Gaze of Malice does go down on the Sigma Suns, well timed, doing some massive damage as Malekith lands to try and break the back of the Spearmen. In come the Empire Knights rallying to the calls of Volkmar, pushing forwards. Banishment does go down on those Dread Knights, but they have been pulled back by the forces of Ice Power. However, the Banishment may go over these Dark Shards to do some nice damage. Big Pendulum comes down the line, breaking the Bleak Swords on Volkmar, chasing that Dragon Booty as fast as possible. Sigma Suns are engaging with Spearmen now, which is a good engagement for them, and the War Wagons on this flank, as well as the grenade launchers, getting some shots now into those Dark Shards, which could be huge if they can do some nice damage to them. Cold One Dread Knights have been forced into the centre. Apologies for the sirens in the background. Sounds like an ambulance is going by, but it should be gone in just a second. Arrows with grenade launchers continue to fight in, once again aiming for those Dark Shards, realising that they are one of the biggest threats the Dark Elf build does possess. However, Dread Spears now getting on top of those Outriders, going to be able to force them back. Volkmar the Grim rolling dirty into the Cold One Dread Knights. He does have some of his buffs popped on him. Malekith, though, coming in to help support, should be able to do some decent work here. And the Empire Knights charge in, and there's a huge fury of Sigma being brought down upon these Dread Knights, doing some solid damage, but now Volkmar is surrounded. Big Pendulum going down on those Dark Shards in the distance. Balance power very even. Swordsmen starting to push their way through the gaps in the Dark Elf formation. Spearmen and Outriders have managed to stabilise on this flank. How are our pesky Cold One Dread Knights doing? Looks like relatively well. One has taken a bit of damage, but they've now forced off the War Wagons for good. And now Volkmar the Grim is being focus fired down by those bolt throws. And sure, he has regeneration, but all that damage does add up over time. Empire Knights charge furiously into those Dark Shards and bolt throws, but Malekith is here to support with a well-placed Soul Stealer coming in. Empire Knights probably going to break from this, and because the battle is taking place so close to the white line, there's a good chance they could end up fleeing for their lives. Grenade launchers continue to fire in. Looks like they're focusing down those Dread Spears for now, and then hoping in the late game Volkmar will find a way to carry. Outriders with grenade launchers being forced off and chased down now by a unit of Dark Riders. We have some returning Spearmen. Balance power, though, is ebbing and flowing heavily in favour of the Dark Elves. War Wagons have returned to the field, up to 10 kills. Shooting into the back of Dread Spears should hopefully be enough to break them. Volkmar is struggling a little bit as Malekith once again swoops in down from the skies. And imagine a dragon coming at you, a pure black dragon as well, through like a dark, cloudy sky. Would be horrendous as a giant shadow descends upon you. Volkmar the Grim is going to be taking the fight head on, though. He's a man of Sigma. Just as I say that, he does decide to retreat and flee. Another well-placed Pendulum by Ludwig. His Grey Wizard has done a really good performance so far. I would like to see some Pendulums going down as well on the Cold One Dread Knights, who are getting a little beat up at the moment. Both bolt throws are happily shooting in. Doesn't look like there's too much pressure on them right now. Just as I say that, though, the Cortez Curse strikes again, and the Empire Knights charge back. Lances lowered into the artillery crew, and that crew not going to be having the best of days. Spearmen tried to push in the back line, so Banishment did help them get rid of these Dread Spears. However, Volkmar the Grim, Grand Hammer of Sigma has been popped on him, and he's going to roll into the Dark Shards to shut them down. Malekith is pretty much full health, and on a Dragon as well. Volkmar tries to pop all his buffs and debuffs and all that kind of good stuff, doing some damage there. Solid work onto the Cold One Dread Knights, where he can hopefully pull himself over here to rally with the rest of his troops, but the rest of the Empire forces are turning and fleeing. They have forsaken Sigma. All praise the new broken Chaos Gods as Malekith starts chewing down Volkmar, and there's simply no way back in the game now for the Empire. Cold One Dread Knights are rampaging, which is a real annoying mechanic they have. Them and Horned Ones being such expensive units which rampage can be big problems. Now you can see they've rampaged straight into Spearmen, which is the style these guys like playing. But at the same time, they've done pretty solid work, so can't complain too much. Volkmar down to just 700 health, and one big swing of that wing brings him down to 350. Army losses sets in, and that is going to be game 1. 2 Ice Power and the Dark Elves. What's up, Karaduk? How are you, my dude? I was about to say my bud and my dude at the same time, but how are you? Yes, yes. I went to pick up a package only to find the post office closed. Man, that is the most frustrating thing in the world when that happens, for sure. Ludwig picked up a good performance. I actually don't mind his build too much. It was just really counterpicked here quite nicely by Ice Pang. See, the War Wagons didn't perform too well. Empire Knights likewise. Now, the Grenade Launchers still got relatively solid damage value despite the amount of pressure that was pushed upon them by Ice Power out of the gate. State Troops didn't perform too well, but, you know, that's not to be unexpected. I mean, they're there to kind of wrap around again to the back line, but they were simply outmatched in the front contingent. Beautiful play by the Grey Wizard, 777 damage value on him, performing rather well. Volkmar the Grim, 1.4k. As for Ice Power, Malekith on the Dragon, certainly something you don't see every day, 1,700 damage value on him, and his Bleak Swords doing their job correctly, holding back those Empire State Troops, allowing the Dark Shards to get big damage. 1,100 damage value here, 1,500 on the other unit, and the Cold One Dread Knights, 1,300, 569. Not the craziest damage value, but they did help protect the back line. Bolt Throwers doing a good job as well. GG, well played. Man, that was some cool builds for sure. So up next, Pillar of Bone. Bone up next. We'll update the scoreboards as well while we think about it. So the mighty Ice Power does take a game 1. But of course, this is best of 3s, and we have a best of 5 finals awaiting us. So let's quickly have a little look at the bracket and see if the other games decide. Now, it looks like Stormrunner and For Poland still playing, but that's fine. We have at least one more game here, and by then they certainly should be done, I think, by then. There was a little rule break early on, so they had to replay one of the games, hence why it might be a little bit slow. The men wasn't marshalled this time, says Viking Banana. Viking Banana, are you a Viking cat or not? Slept over your tournament? No worries, Karaduk, man. No worries, man. That's all good. There'll be plenty more tournaments to come. I think we're doing a stream Friday. Oh, no, it's not a tournament that we're playing a tournament Friday. Actually, we might be playing you, Karaduk. We've got to the grand finals of Battlemania, a tournament hosted by Logic. There's 8 players. And I'm going to be sharing my point of view of that, which should be pretty good fun. Ludwig seems to be a man of the people going High Elves. Very interesting. I haven't seen High Elves in a long time. High Elves banning Skaven and Wood Elves. Oh, yeah, for sure, Hunter. Ice Power really is, like, a top player. He's scary indeed. Very scary to face him across the battlefield. And Pillar Bone's a fun map as well. Relatively short, kind of medium-sized map, a little bit of trees as well, but kind of a big open plain. Ice Power, you hero, you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. If there's no Nakai here, I'm going to be very upset. I've decided to become a Nakai main. I say that, but I love Crocky G. But I've been bringing a lot of Nakai in tournaments just for fun, and it's kind of been working. You put him inside Temple Guard, use Primal Roar to increase their melee attack by 40, plus the physical resistance is nice, and if your opponent kind of misplays that and attempts to snipe Nakai with a big dragon or something, it just dies in a matter of seconds. It's beautiful. Lizard Men. I'm going to send Ice Power a message here. Nakai or Riot. We need Nakai. Always vote Dark Elves and Beastmen. Had those armies back in the day. Oh, awesome, man. You play them on tabletop, Harmon. I actually used to play Lizardmen on tabletop. Shock and horror. I took them to... This one was very young, though, so I learned the rules for my own faction, but I didn't know, obviously, the rules for everyone else's faction. And my friend of mine was real top player, even at such a young age. He was kind of winning tournaments and stuff since he was like 15 or whatever, and is still... He's moved to 40k, and he's arguably the best greenskin player in the world. I say arguably because it's hard to determine. Their score system really favours you if you live in America. But I believe last year he was the #1 greenskin player for like 75% of the year or something insane. Which is funny because most people don't think greenskins are competitive in 40k, which I guess is the opposite currently of Total War, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I used to play Lizardmen, and it was really good fun. Went to a few big tournaments with them, had some good laughs. I was the one guy who brought a Carnosaur instead of a Slann. Benedict Rubberduck does a stream with a greenskin band. Best YouTuber confirmed. Well, I'll take the title. I'll take the title. No way is Ice Pat actually bringing the Kai. Red Crested Nakai. Red Crested Skink Chiefs, underrated in my humble opinion, although I don't bring them terribly often. But there's a lot of stuff that I think is good in Lizardmen, which I don't bring, just because it doesn't suit my style of play. Saw Scar Veterans, for example. It's like I'm trying to filter more and more into my builds. Been using them a lot recently up against Vampirates, which is good fun. I'm quite happy as well to do another faction guide soon. I don't know how I'm going to do it for. Probably Wood Elves. There's a few matchups where I might need some help from some players in the community to suggest build ideas, but I've been really kind of getting the itch to do another one of those big fat ultimate faction guides. We've done Lizardmen once. I'm happy to move on to the next one. I think Wood Elves might be next. Really, dude, why did you force him to take the guy? He is so upset. He doesn't have to play Nakai. He doesn't have to. No pressure to take Nakai. You had a Beastmaster themed Dark Elf army. That sounds insane. Then got a Beastman one because it was the same theme but something different. That's really cool. It's one of those things. I actually had a 40k tournament like maybe 2 years ago or something, maybe 3, and I've played a little bit of competitive 40k. Again, my friend who's really good kind of helped me design builds and stuff. And I played Eldar. Well, I played Space Wolves like years ago now, and then the meta shifted quite away from them, I think, quite a bit. We had a drop pod themed army, which sounds like it's terrible because drop pods weren't particularly well sought after back then, and we made it super good. Like, it was insane how powerful we made that army. And then we moved over to Eldar and went for kind of we had some flyers, we had some rangers. It was a really fun build. Dark Reapers who could pop out of cover, shoot, and then pop back into cover. It was really nasty. But I hadn't played in a while because I don't know, I just didn't enjoy the tournament scene that much, particularly at higher levels. I would beat a lot of people who were kind of my same level because my build was really overpowered, and then I'd be playing on the top tables, and I just didn't enjoy the atmosphere or the kind of cheating, basically, that kind of goes on, and I don't have time to get knowledge of all the rules. And it's one of those things where I think the top players in competitive 40k don't actually cheat because they don't need to. It's the level just below who are trying to claw up to them, I think, who don't quite have the same skill level, who like to cheat and all that kind of nasty stuff. And Nakai smashed me, no joke, Mighty Beast. I think I brought Nakai against you, Caradoc, didn't I? I think. Let's see, has he done it? We'll save it, actually. We'll go through the high field first. So, Ludwig, trying to fight back here. Sorry about my, tangent on 40k Warhammer there. Back to the Glorious Fantasy, which, of course, is the better faction. We have Spearmen dotted throughout. Nice, cheap, and cheerful troops here. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, it's got 5. Double E-Claw Bolfra in the back. We have Illyrian Reavers, 3 units, in fact, and then so many archers. Basic archers, Lothran Seaguard, more archers, all into the sunset. I'm assuming we've got a Plague of Rust cast, and we do. Mage of Life, Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, and Alpha-Nar. This is going to be tough, though. This is so much to protect. The Illyrian Reavers are going to have to put their lives on the line. For the forces of the Lizardmen, in the main battle line, we do have skink cohorts with javelins dotted all the way along, Saurus warriors, as well as cohort of Sotek in a secondary battle line, including the Legion of Shaqua. We have Cold One riders on either flank, skink priest of beast, manticore summon, and flock of doom. Double chameleon skinks, double feral stegodons, or one feral stegodon, one feral bastillodon, and the boy, he's done it! And this is, I don't know if this is just me, Nakai has one of the coolest models in the entire game. Look at him! Pure swag, just full on, no Fs given, ready to just club and skewer as many pointy ears as possible. I think Ice Power wins this matchup just because of Nakai, if I'm being honest. And Nakai should do relatively poorly here. I mean, everything has an anti-large or shoots him. But he'll be able to beat Alephanar in hand-to-hand combat, and that's all we need. That's a lot of ducks. What ducks? Oh no. I'll have you know, Aristide, it wasn't me who timed you out. Goose, honk honk honk. How are you doing, buddy? Hope you're all good, man. Mighty Goose is upon us. Good luck, have fun. Looks like the players are ready. Good luck, have fun, lads. I'm very excited to see how this one goes. I feel like the large creatures really could suffer, but I like the idea he's gone wide. Saurus warriors are just going to kill everything in this build, but there's a chance they will get shot to pieces. Double bolt throw as well are going to have a little choice to make. Do they shoot the stegodons? Do they shoot Nakai? What do they do? I honestly think sniping Nakai from the rip might not be the worst idea, but he's surrounded by the Legion of Shaqua, who will give him that missile resistance if it is indeed popped. I like the Manticore summon as well. Looks like the alien readers have been revealed. They flew a little too close to the Cold One riders, who are going to be darting and trying to push them away where possible. But like, at the end of the day, the alien readers will be able to escape, and he's going to be wanting to use them defensively anyway, in my opinion. There's no real need to wrap around the flanks of this Lizardmen build, because everything you want to get into is in front of you. Bolt throws are aiming for Nakai the Wanderer. Looks like he takes a little bit of damage, but he's a mighty beast. Now the bolt throws have switched to the feral stegodon. Now stegodons have a ridiculous charge bonus of 76. They will pummel anything they hit. That's why I love them so much. Moonbow comes in. Looks like Alephanar is setting about his work, and he's going to be trying to finish off that skink priest of beast. I like that idea quite a bit. Feral Stegodon does now rampage, and it's going to be charging directly towards those spearmen, unable to, unfortunately, get on to the Lothran Seaguard back line. Plaguerost has gone down on the Feral Stegodon. There's no saving this bad boy anymore for ice power, as the arrows pour in. This is the definition of our arrows will blot out the sun. The Feral Stegodon just about making it to the front line to hit Alephanar, but I think, is that a dummy Alephanar? Maybe the actual one. He decides to take that Stegodon head on, show his high elf brethren how it's done. And that is a lot of money down the drain instantly. Spearman will now move up to engage with the Saurus warriors and cohort of Sotek, and that Bastillodon is now the focus of attention. Alien Reavers certainly want to start cycle charging into these skink skirmishers, skink cohorts, as well as the Saurus, just to try and beat them down, because otherwise they will chew their way through the entirety of this Lizardmen build. Nakai the Wanderer just doesn't even care about Alephanar, pushes straight past him. Alephanar's not worth his time. He's going to be darting back instead. Primal Roar active. Whipping his melee attack up to 100 as he slaughters Lothran Seaguard with each swing, roaring his bloody maw. Oh my god, look at the Khan just decapitating enemies. He's now surrounded in the back line, but in come the Cold One Riders to help support. Archers have now finished off the second dinosaur. Feral Bastillodon has been dealt with, but the front line is really suffering. We can see Skink Cohorts and Legion of Shaqua starting to pour into the back lines from all angles. Likewise, the Skink Cohorts doing a similar job. Cold One Riders have overwhelmed the flanks, and this is a big problem going so Archer heavy. They are managing to fall back. If he can stabilise and save them, he might be able to turn around and snipe out Nakai. Might be a better idea though to snipe out the Cold One Spear Riders, try to gain the mobility advantage on the battlefield, as the bolt throws are continuing to fire in. Alien Reavers have been forced off. The Cold One Riders mounts, they're snapping at those horses, and that'd be such a big advantage, having a dinosaur that you can ride and control rather than a horse, because the dinosaur is easily going to overwhelm the poor horsey. It looks like one Alephanar decoy has gone down to try and dumbfound the Lizardman forces, and it's going to charge into combat. The Mage of Metal is simply running around at the moment. Legion of Shaqua continue to push through where possible. Nakai is well and truly in the back lines, up to 43 kills. He is fighting alone for the most part in this battle. He's kind of just vibing right now, but already up to 400 damage value. Just no cares in the world. Now we're going to be aiming for Alefanar for the ultimate duel. The moonbow shot to the face does some massive burst damage to him, but everywhere we look, there is Lizardmen forces. Some of the archers have managed to fall back to places where they may be able to pour in fire, and the Leon Reavers are going to be coming back. They need to shut down the Cold One Riders, allowing the archers to then help finish off more and more key targets. Looks like a final transmutation did come down, catching a few units. Nakai went after Alefanar, but it looks like he has indeed been bamboozled, and is now kind of floating out in the wrong position. Legion Shqua will be able to take down those spearmen, and the Manticore Summon in the back line seems to want to feast upon the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. They want to pop him over to Alefanar as well to really try to put the nail in the game's coffin, because balance power currently is in favour of our favourite Dino boys. Leon Reavers and Spearmen have been forced back by this Feral Bastiladon, who, though he took a pounding early on, unlike his Feral Stegodon brethren, did come back for vengeance. Cold One Riders hopping on top of some Leon Reavers who are quite simply outmatched here. Cold One Riders easily going to be able to gobble them up. Some of the archers are once again free firing in. Lothar and Seaguard in the back trying to fend off the Cold One Riders, but getting dealt with. Archers now should be able to help finish off those guys and drive them away. Now the balance power is slightly kind of overinflated right now because of the Feral Manticore summons, but even so, I just don't think there's enough Spearmen left alive to deal with all these Saurus Warriors or to protect the archers so they can do it themselves. Nakai is currently fighting in the forest. Now he is a man of the jungle, but is still a big beastie in general, doesn't really want to be in this kind of area, particularly up against anti-large Spearmen, but he does dance his way back with joyful glee into the cohort of Sotek for a bit of protection. Archers getting chased down. Looks like Cold One Riders still doing their job. These two units have really been MVP so far. Just the amount of pressure they've been able to put on the enemy battle line. Major Metal going after that Skink Priest who doesn't want any of it. He's getting poked in the butt. He does turn around. Might be able to do a cheeky little tail whip. There we go. Nice little swing coming in. You know, the elf has lived quite a long time. Should be well versed in the art of war. Up against our little Skink Priest. Alefanar is trying to come over and help assist. Skink cohorts are dogging his every move though. Balance power now heavily in favour of the Lizardmen, and there's simply nothing the High Elves can do here. Decoy has been popped. What if the decoy actually helps balance the power? And the Kai is going to not fall for that decoy. Comes straight in, misses Alefanar, misses the mage, and runs over his own little Skink Priest. If that doesn't sum up the lovable Nakai, I don't know what does. But 56 kills, still half health, plenty left to give to the battle. Nakai OP, question mark. I'll let you guys decide in that chat. Yes. Nakai, oh my god. I don't know if I haven't seen Kyle's there. I don't know if Kyle's here. We have named Manticores Manticals from now on, basically. It's a long story, but it happened in a previous stream. Well played to Ice Palo is down to break his way back. Well, break his way back, but dominantly kind of win this first semi-final, actually 2-0. Both the Feral Dinosaurs performing really bad. 12 damage value on one, 86 on the other, but the Cold One Riders, my god. 1,243 damage value, 755 here, and really solid kills across the board and good pressure in the back. Chameleon Skinks didn't really find themselves in a nice position, but he didn't need them to. Skink cohorts doing okay, likewise the Saurus Warriors, not the best damage value. Some getting okay, but it was really them pushing back the enemy battle lines. Skink Priest came with their Manticore Summons, and Nakai the Wanderer, 1,128 damage value. Obviously, he does cost like over 2k, but he had half health left, so probably performed just about as he should do for his points cost. As for Ludwig, true champion, bringing out Alefanar, who did get 1.5k damage value, and he nuked some of those dinosaurs. Bolt throwers really struggled, likewise the Reavers. As for the archers, let's have a little look across the board. Okay damage value, nothing too great to be honest, simply too many troops to help protect it. Looks like the guys have already hopped out, but GG's to them. Let's update the scoreboard quickly, and hopefully the other games will be ready. So that was 2-0 to Icepower. We'll be seeing him in the finals. And let's check. It looks like Stormrunner is going to be up. He took down for Poland 2-0. So Stormrunner and Deadly Bunnies, you guys are up. Let's pop them a little message. Storm and Bunnies, you lads are up. So Stormrunner, of course, representing DBD. I'm assuming that Deadly Bunnies will be representing PE today. Do I have them both as friends on here? I should definitely have Storm on here. He may be playing under a different name, though. Oh, let's say J-Raptor's online. Black Thorns online as well. Let's get a Storm in here. Okay, it doesn't look like we have Deadly Bunnies. Oh, it looks like Deadly Bunnies has joined though. The Plebelites versus Stormrunner. Hello! So, maps are... Galbaraz, Karak Ungor, and Iron Sand Desert. So let's open up those. And I will quickly change the names before coming and chatting out with you guys. So on the right hand side we have Stormrunner, the man, the myth, the legend himself. I always love seeing Stormrunner play because I should probably call him Storm just so it fits in. We go all caps, just so we know he brings the storm. Stormrunner brings a lot of like units that I just don't expect, and he manages to make them perform really well. So bunnies. So it's always a good fun time seeing him. I haven't seen bunnies on the channel in quite some time actually. Very talented player though, real nasty Skaven player, like very talented with Skaven, and it can cause you all kind of problems with some of these like skirmish, skittering and retreating builds that can just slowly drag you down through the dirt. Oh, don't want to press that button. Cool, looks like the lads are in. I need to convince Ice Cold One Cav is good. Cold One Cav did good in that matchup, man. GG Nikai's OP. See, Tequila agrees with me. What's up, Kraken? How are you, buddy? I actually saw your games earlier on Ice Power stream, man. You played really well. Glad to have you get involved in the tournaments. Aleph is no Wolfar. This is true. This is true. Aleph though, is pretty decent in relatively few matchups, though. Euroduck, when Warhammer 3 hits, do you see a possibility of your main changing? I mean, maybe. I just love Lizardmen so much, but I will obviously want to delve into all the new factions. And I'm assuming on game release, we won't be able to have Total War Warhammer 1 and 2 factions in multiplayer for the first like month or so. I think they did this as well with Total War Warhammer 2 until Mortal Empires is up and running, but it really won't take that long. So I'll be very interested to try out Kislev. Do we have all the confirmed factions yet? I think one's missing. We have Kislev, Cathay, 4 demons. Maybe that's all of it for now. And there'll be a free one if you pre-order or something. Which is most likely, I'm pretty confident of Ogres being that one. But I don't know. I don't have anything in yet. Who's the biggest simp? Rubber Duck for Nakai or Ice Power from Rafi? Well, I quite like Krokgar as well. Crocky G is my boy. I agree, Petersborough. We need more likes. Likes for the like throne. Bread for the duck gods. Why would you throw them? Man, let's imagine like walking outside and just getting hit by a load of like like a load of giant inflatable thumbs up. Obviously, Nakai needs to be more expensive, screams Rubik's Raptor. I agree fully. He's too cheap. He's only like, what, 2.2k of all his buffs? Something along those lines. What's up, Phoenix King? How you doing, champ? And the Might of Neckbird? Yeah, Nakai's a Chad. Tequila, I agree. Nakai but no sub-faction. Shake my head! Oof! Send that to Ice Power. Just be like, where was the sub-faction, man? Yeah, I saw the teaser. What I'm probably going to do... I'll catch you later, Ronan. Thank you for tuning in, buddy. Hopefully see you in the future soon. What I'm probably going to do, so it's like a 30-second teaser, and some of the bigger channels got like early access to it, I think, and they've all kind of made like 8 to 10 minute videos and all that stuff. So I don't think there's much point in me making a video on the teaser, because it's kind of already been done. But what I'm going to do is when they live stream the big reveal next week, I might just have it up here so I can chat to you guys with it. If you guys like a kind of like a streaming party. I don't know if that's something people would be interested in, or not interested in, or if they just want to watch it by themselves, or whatever. But it's something I'm considering, so let me know if that's something you'd like to watch. Let's have a little look at the bracket. It is Storm to pick and ban first. Storm to pick and ban. There we go. Quack from Sweden, what's up, Sebastian? Viking Banana, next DLC will be more Skaven. We got one more DLC to come, so I'm pretty excited for that. I don't think they're going to be bringing in a new faction. I think it's just going to be DLCs for the current factions, most likely Beastmen, and a good shot of Dark Elves. I'm kind of hoping Lizardmen. Now, Lizardmen have had a lot of DLCs, but they've always had the worst end, in my opinion, at least when it comes to competitiveness. The best units on the Lizardmen roster, hands down, are all just units from the base game. I don't think anyone can really dispute that. I mean, Regiment Renowns are really good as well. So, if you want to count them as DLC, but they're free, so, yeah. Are pterodons technically ducks? I think ducks are low-key descended from dinosaurs, so quite possibly. Yeah, we're going to be, like, stream sniping like Warhammer. Yes, I noticed the giant ice bear. I feel like it may be a summon, like an avatar of their god or something. Yeah, people love the bear. People really love the bear. And I don't blame them. I mean, it's a giant bear. Kislev, for me, are going to be the first faction I play most likely. Harmon. Well, it is the biggest fin in the reveal. True. True. Stormrunner is going Chaos, Abandoned Vampire Counts, and Skaven. Not a bad first pick, Chaos, I don't think. I want a DLC for Dwarves. There's a grudge that they have one. I hope Dwarves eventually get DLCs. I can't see it happening this time. I think they need to combine a Total Warhammer 1 faction with Warhammer 2, and Beastmen just need it. Beastmen need the love. Maybe there's a chance that they're saving Beastmen for Game 3 because it is more Chaos thematic and themed. Now that I think about it, Warhammer 3 is kind of Kislev, Cathay, united and going into the Chaos Wastes, right? Taking the fight to Chaos. That's what I got from the teaser, because it said get ready to invade like the Chaos Wastes. The recent Vermintide patch has been going into the Chaos Wastes. Is there a chance of a crossover? Maybe? I don't know how they would do that, but maybe including some of the characters from Vermintide as recruitable characters in the campaign. Ooh. I might message CA about that as an idea. I don't know the legal precautions behind it, but I'm just going to write that down. Maybe there's already a crossover and I've missed it. Cool. I don't think anyone knows yet for Poland, to be honest. There's always these like rumors and stuff. Oh, I thought we were going to see a Chaos Mirror. It looks like Deadly Bunnies, trying to make Ice Power proud of him, is going with the Dark Elves here. So we have Dark Elves versus Chaos now. One thing Storm should probably do here is the double Hell Cannon build. I think it's very strong. Hell Cannons can snipe out Marathi. They can take down all your elite units and all your expensive units. They're good against skirmishers as well. So you bring Marauders in the front line. Maybe, you know, Mirror Guard as well. An insane amount of skirmish cavalry, horsemen, throwing axes, horse masters, whatever you want to fend off the enemies, and double Hell Cannon just to shoot the crap out of them. I mean, double Exiled Heroes as well can be nice here, though. There's a bunch of Vermintide Easter eggs in single player, man. I need to find them. The characters of Vermintide is already in the base game as an Easter egg when you click on the special build-in. What? This is so cool. I didn't know that. So there's a really cool, another Easter egg. So like almost no one seems to know about this one for some reason. But there's 2 secret achievements you can get where if you're Surfer Ek on a chariot, so you have to get Surfer Ek for Norska, and you kill Cetra, you get a hidden achievement, something like something about chariots, like you're now like the god of chariots or the lord of chariots, and likewise if you're Cetra and you travel to Norska and kill Surfer Ek, you also gain the secret achievement, and it gives a faction-wide buff to all of your chariots. Like, it's ridiculously OP, but it's one of those hidden things you never get to see. So it looks like we are loaded in here though, so enough of me blabbling. Up in the... Oh my god. This is glorious stuff. Right, so 4 Deadly Bunnies. We have Dread Spears in the front line. It is a small-ass build, 619 troops. We then have double Dark Riders, repeated crossbows, double Dark Riders with shields, and double Assassin on the ground as well. These little canine assassins can certainly pack a punch, and their crossbows do some real good work for them, but this is what I'm excited for. I can't take my eyes off it. Double Black Dragon up in the skies. 1 normal, 1 obviously being ridden by Malekith. Soul Stealer, Gaze of Malice are his weapons of choice. A very interesting Dark Elf build, giving up the infantry fight pretty much, and saying, hey, I'm going to take you down in a different way. For Stormrunner, we do have a lone Hell Cannon. Good pick here in my humble opinion. Kolek Suneater shall be leading the forces, and he's going to have his work cut out for him. Yes, he can pummel a dragon, but 2 dragons? That's asking quite a lot of the big boy himself. We do have some Chosen with halberds, though, to help support. If they don't get breath attacked, they're going to be nasty. Main battle line is Chaos Marauders mixed in with Forsaken across the battle line. Oh, hell yeah. This is some cool stuff. Both these guys bring in rather interesting armies. We have Marauder Horsemen on the flanks, protected with Chaos Warhounds with poison. Looks like some are basic, some are throwing axes. Hell yeah, I'm a big fan of both these builds. They're very interesting. With a Chaos Sorcerer of Death, humble Spirit Leech coming in, and honestly, Spirit Leech spam's really good. Just consistently drop it on Malekith. Actually, I'd probably start dropping it on the base Black Dragon, because it has no opportunities to heal. I've linked you the Dark Ancestors. I believe you can take 2 Black Dragons, yeah. Oh, can you? You can't take 2 Star Dragons. You can take 2 Moon Dragons. You take 2 Sun, 2 Moon. How much does a base Black Dragon cost? This may be illegal. We'll let them play. And if the Dark Elves lose, it doesn't matter. But if they win, we may have to redo the battle, I'm afraid. As I don't know if that's legal. And I don't have the... I'll have to get the rules up afterwards. I don't want to hop out just in case it crashes the game. If one of the mods in chat... I'm trying to think who's here. Either Petersburg, or Poison Ducky. If any of you guys around and can look up the rules briefly or quickly for me, then that would be fantastic. We'll have to see though. Honestly, the Double Dragon, it's going to do bits. It's going to do bits. Double breath attacks on Chosen, double breath attacks on Kolek even could do really good work. It's Aerocratic rules. If you play by unit caps, it's fine. No, it's Aerocratic rules. Hang on. 2 secs. Oh, looks like they've readied up. Okay. It's banner rules as always. You can bring 2, not 3. Okay. Okay, looks like we're good then. Interesting, you can bring 2 Black Dragons, not 2 Star Dragons. I guess Black Dragons are slightly less potent and deadly. Hell Cannon, launching some shots up in the air. What is it going to be going for? Probably the Dark Riders would be my bet, and it looks like it does. Connects there. Only killing 1 model though. Doing some nice HP damage nonetheless. Both Black Dragons are floating forward now. Kolek is raising his Star Crusher in defiance, though. Come at me, bro. He will be screaming. And that's a pretty scary sight, though. 2 dragons floating towards you. Kolek with Chosen with halberds, though, should be more than up for the scrap. Looks like the forces of Chaos are going to be pushing forward. I'd probably sit back and defend. I mean, you've got the Hell Cannon here. No need to push up with the main battle line. It looks like Malekith is taking a little bit of damage. Going to be coming with that big threat breath attack. Lovely micromanagement by Stormrunner, though. Gets his crew off the Hell Cannon. And it looks like it does indeed stay alive, but very low HP at the moment. Malekith may consider going in for the final kill. Always risky, though, when Kolek is nearby. Royal Horseman as well, poking at him. But you really want to do damage to this other Black Dragon first, in my opinion, because it doesn't have the opportunity to heal. And that looks like it's just what Stormrunner is doing. Spirit Leech is going down. Phrenax is doing some nice damage. Hell Cannon does miss. It does try to swerve back around like it's in the Wanted. And oh, no way did it do a 360. No way! What is going on? It did a full 360. Full like backtrack onto itself there. Chaos Marauders are taking these shots to the Dark Riders. Not going to be too problematic for Stormrunner. The Warhounds certainly want to get back here though. Help force these guys off and waste that ammunition elsewhere. Black Dragons are now taking a bit of a pounding. Second breath attack coming in. Going to be trying to take out the Hell Cannon, which is a good shout. And it looks like it does indeed manage to deal with the Hell Cannon, but at what cost? A third health off this dragon. Malekith's taking a bit of damage as well. Hell Cannon didn't really get much value though. It seems like he didn't get to fire too much. Chosen Halberds can now move up. They basically just want to work as a bodyguard for Kolek. Vibe with him, just hang out with him. And don't worry too much about the rest of the battle, because those two together could really cause big problems for the rest of the Dark Elf build. Having the double assassin could be problematic. Black Dragon, down to nearly half health, is floating away at the moment, and those poor Forsaken have been lit up. It looks like the micromanagement of Kolek did distract Stormrunner a little bit. They put their hands in the air, but that's not going to be able to save them, and these guys have taken huge burst damage from the Dark Riders. Dark Riders do fall back, though it looks like skirmish mode is on as the Chaos Marauders are getting ready to crash into the spear wall of the Dread Spears, and this is going to be a real aggressive fight, but it will certainly favour the Marauders. Although if the Dragons come back, and it looks like one is certainly doing that, the Chaos front line could buckle and crumple. I would probably, if I'm the Chaos in this situation, try to keep relatively tight. It looks like we actually have a secret unit of the Blades of the Blood Queen, which I missed earlier on as well. I would try and stay as tight as possible, because otherwise these double dragons are really going to start causing big problems. It does mean giving up the mobility game and allowing the Dark Riders to get insane value, but the dragons are, you know, a bigger threat in my opinion. Spirit Leech goes down on the Black Dragon, again doing more and more damage, down to 2,300 health at the moment. The Chaos Force is kind of attacking in bits and pieces here. Chosen are getting ready to catch up. Marauders have engaged over on this left-hand flank, but now the mobility of the Dark Riders and Crossbowmen going to be coming over and helping take down the Forsaken, who are getting shot in the flank. Oh, the HP damage is nasty. Up to 44 kills though, beat down the Dread Spears, can now whip around and really charge the second unit, helping the Chaos Marauders beat them back. Blades of Blood Queen are here to support, however. First Soul Sealer does go down on Kolek, not getting the most value there, although Malekith did need a little bit of a heal. And on the flanks, the Warriors of Chaos really starting to suffer and get deleted. Chaos Marauders are shattering, and another Spirit Leech comes down onto the Blood Dragon, who maybe wants to start lining up breath attacks onto these characters now. Kolek is very healthy, likewise are the Chosen with Halberds. Big Breath does come in, but only on Chaos Marauders. Maybe he was worried about breaking and wanted to get that Breath attack in early. And now the Forsaken are surrounded. They're still doing decent damage, up to 72 kills, but the Blades of Blood Queen up to 101 kills. Almost no damage take on them as well. Dark Riders have pushed their way in into the back line, forcing off the thrown axes. The Chaos Sorcerer of Death is getting in here to try and intercept, buy time for the Chosen Halberds to pop over and say what's up. Although it looks like the Dark Riders' good micromanagement by Deadly Bunnies is going to be fleeing for his life. Hell Cannon crew does need to get active. It looks like the Warhounds have been brought back for the most part. One unit sneaking onto these Dark Riders in the back. It looks like Deadly Bunnies notices it. Malekith does come down, but the Dark Riders are getting feasted upon right now. Those wolves, if their morale holds, they'll be able to do some really lovely damage here. It looks like the second unit is starting to pop in. Double Assassin looking a little scary. This Black Dragon has been dealt with for the most part, down to 17 leadership. Okay, he's gonna hang around a little while longer. Chosen Halberds did receive a breath attack, it seems, because there's no way anything else would do this damage to them. Maybe the Dark Riders. Kolek, though, is trying to support them where possible. Marauder Horsemen as well, desperately trying to force off the Dark Riders, engaging in hand-to-hand combat. This is really good play now, coming in by the Chaos. You need to hop on these guys and drive them off by any means necessary. Oh, disgusting Soul Stealer comes down, catching 3 units of Horsemen, though. That is very rough stuff. Chaos Warhounds just chilling out over here. Once again, need to put some pressure on the Dark Riders. It looks like some of the Dark Riders are starting to get forced back. Blades of the Blood Queen need to get hammered down by Kolek Sun Eater. Chosen with Halberds easily dealing with the Dread Spears. They're about to take a charge from the Dark Riders. Slow motion as well, it would seem, as a bit of lag does kick in. Chosen, massive Halberds, very good up against horses, as you would expect. Looks like the Marauder Horsemen are being driven back once more by the Dark Riders. Taking all 3 units and jumping the unit of Dark Riders may not be the worst idea in the world. Kolek still going strong. It looks like the Warhounds have finally managed to pounce and finish off some of the Dark Riders, and this is huge. Kolek still 5,300 health is a mighty beast to be reckoned with, particularly if he can align himself with the Chosen. Another Spirit Leech comes down. The Chaos Sorcerer whips his horse around, tries to go underneath the Black Dragon, but fails. He's half a second too slow, and that could be the end of him, but he just about manages to pull back to the safety of Kolek, although he's now going to have to be really scared of any big attacks coming in. Looks like a Wave of Shadows went down on the Hounds, forcing them back, but they did manage to do their jobs. Dark Riders getting very low on ammunition, still decent amounts of Chaos Skirmish Cavalry, but they're struggling to do with Dark Riders at the moment. Very close game. Back and forth. Balance power slightly favours the forces here of Chaos. Kolek is... Oh, not Chaos, sorry, of Dark Elves. But the Chosen, I mean, it's the Blades of the Blood Queen are going to be the big problem. And oh no! Oh no! Breath Attack comes down the line. Chosen just about get out the worst of it. Well spotted by Stormrunner, but nice play for both of these guys. Spirit Leech goes down on the Blades of Blood Queen, not a bad idea, but with the Chosen breaking, who are in fact being terrified, so far away from Kolek, I think the game is starting to look very, very juicy for the Dark Elves. Look at this, Hell Cannon crew has been used to pin in Dark Riders, that is hilarious. Chaos Warhounds unfortunately do shatter, but the little dwarfs may better break off the Dark Riders, their leadership is wavering. What a beautiful play there. Big Fat Web of Shadows once again goes down. Kolek is being forced off at the moment, and he's a mighty beast, but 2 Assassins and Malekith, it isn't looking too good right now. We do have some more Chaos Marauders who can come back, likewise some Marauder Horsemen. Across the battlefield, there's a lot of Chaos Warriors who maybe could show their faces, but they're all very beaten up by this point, and by the time they get back, it's probably going to be game over for them, I'd think. Warhounds have returned, as well as Horsemen with Thrown Axes who have used all their ammunition. Just getting them to hop on top of Dark Riders, rear charge units can be quite powerful. Looks like Forbidden Rod has gone down. Chaos Sorcerer knows what to rub, and he's going to be just kind of chilling for now, probably trying to save up Spirit Leeches, and he is trying to pop them on Malekith, which is a good choice, I think, all round. His only chance of winning this is Malekith committing to a fight, Star Crusher being popped on Kolek and assassinating Malekith really quickly and then tear out on the rest of the Dark Elves. I don't think, apart from that, there's too much chance. I mean, the Marauders will get rid of the Dread Spears. Blades of Blood Queen are going to be a pain. They also give Guardian, which is really nasty. But Kolek could probably deal with them. It's the double Assassin plus Malekith is going to be really hard to do here. So Chaos just trying to attack where possible. Looks like the Chaos Marauders getting ready to engage with the Dread Spears over here, who are trying to intercept Marauder Horsemen, who are kind of trying to thread the needle and get on top of the Dark Riders, but they've kind of committed to a fight now that I don't think they can handle, and in comes the dragon swooping in and actually floating back up into the sky once more. A little bit janky there, and Kolek, hit by an Assassin's Trophy, is still probably going to have to commit to this fight. He still hits really hard if he gets very lucky with his RNG, and he's going to be going straight after Malekith, trying to circumvent the K-Knight Assassins. Malekith, rather wisely, going to be getting up into the skies, or is he? Star Crusher is lifted, and bam, down it comes. Apologies for the light guys, I'm not sure what's going on with these guys. But it seems to be kind of coming and going a little bit here. Standard die has been popped. Melee defense is back up to normal for Kolek, who now does turn and slam some of his own Marauders for getting in his way. And in is going to come a big fat breath attack onto Kolek. Sun Eater, nope, it is cancelled by Malekith, who's starting to fall back and reconsider his options, although the cycle charging does begin. Chaos Sorcerer of Death riding over, looking to help supporting Kolek. Star Crusher has been popped, smacking the absolute snot out of Malekith and his dragon, who's trying to escape. Nothing can pin him in. Gaze of Malice is popped. Kolek going to town, but a Soul Stealer coming in. Is that Soul Stealer going to be popped? Surely it is. It is, and that's really going to help Malekith heal up, because things all starting to looking really bleak for the Dark Elves. And that Assassin goes in for the kill on Kolek, and Kolek says, "Not today, champ." Turns around and crushes the pointy-eared princess, as K-Knight Assassin is forced off. Blades of Blood Queen as well, hit by the mighty thunderbolts from Kolek. Up to a whopping 2,100 damage value. One assassin down, and he sets his eyes on the second one. Is this a comeback of the gods? No way! Malekith deciding that enough is enough. I need to fight alongside my characters. And Kolek turns around and says, well, hello once again. Malekith, though, rather annoying with his heals, keeps taking punches to the face. Chaos Sorcerer of Death needs Spirit Leeches. Pop one on that K-Knight Assassin, get it off the field. We don't want to see him anywhere near here. Kolek once again turns around to do the bloody work on that K-Knight Assassin. Malekith comes in for the breath attack, and this could be absolutely huge. Oh, yeah, that's going to be the nail in the coffin, and that breaks Kolek. Woo! What an end to the game. Well played to Stormrunner, keeping the game going. And nearly, with some insane RNG, nearly Kolek. If he'd killed Malekith there, I think it's game over. Because he finishes the K-Knight Assassins and everything else runs. Really well played there. I'm very excited by that end part of the game, if you can tell already. 2,700 damage value on Kolek, what a beast. 1,200 on the Chaos Sorcerer. Now, the Marauders really struggled. Likewise, the Forsaken, even the ones with solid kills, didn't do too good. And the Chosen Halberds really underperformed here, due, of course, to the breath attacks. Good play by the Cavalry. Some of them, though, 1.2k damage value. The rest doing relatively solid. The poor Hell Cannon did get kind of counterpicked, and I think all round the Dark Elf build works really good up against this Chaos build, but despite that, it was made so close. Malekith, 2,500 damage value. The other dragon, only 500 Haver. Assassins, mixed bag, 1,600. Of course, Dread Spears basically did nothing. That's their job, though, just to kind of add mass and numbers. 2,355 damage on the Blades of the Blood Queen. Really good pick there, and the crossbows doing solid work. GG. Kolek's last stand was epic. That was cool, man. That was very cool. So the next map is going to be Crack Ungor. Hopefully it's still called that. I know one of the cracks changed. No, it's still there. Cool. Cool, cool. Someone should cast a voodoo spell over the UK. Someone needs it. What? Man, it is raining so bad here in the UK. We just don't have summer, it seems. It's legal, you can bring 2, not 3. Perfect, thank you. Thank you for sorting that out, by the way. I mean, they nearly did, James. I was kind of in the same situation as you. I'm like, there's no way they can kill them. But it's, I mean, why would you take Forsaken and Hell Cannon in the same build? I mean, it gives you a bit more flexibility in case you have to push. The problem with Hell Cannon is, what if your opponent's gone triple Reaper Bolt Throws? You've just lost if you've gone for a defensive build. So having a little bit of Forsaken, you can really break through Dread Spears and Bleak Swords really quickly, is quite nice in case you have to engage aggressively. Yeah, Kolek had to carry, and he nearly did, my god. Heat-seeking Hell Cannon isn't real, it can't hurt you. Oh, that's funny. Good to see you here as well, A-Move, by the way. AKA, of course, Tanoin of the Red Host. Yeah, the acid bath finished him off Nick, 100%. Yeah, Professor Bone. Should have picked greenskins. Yeah, I heard Arab boys are really good in this matchup. Yeah, Malekith and Kolek, that was fun. Stormwater looks out the windows to full summer's day. Man, London is not happy. Man, it rained so hard earlier. If you want a last stand, then I have a game for you. Crack Ungor is next map. So, let us update the scoreboard. Diddly Bunnies. Not hugely comfortable victory at the end. It looked like it was going really good, and then Kolek turned on the comeback mode. But a victory nonetheless, taking the second semi-final, 1-0 so far. Why pick greenskins when you can get double dragon? I mean, exactly. Yeah, I am British. I'm British. Oh my god, we're over 100 people here. The no greenskin seems pretty popular, I must admit. What did you guys think of the format, by the way? I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, feel free, by the way, to leave a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. All that kind of good stuff. Sorry about berating you with all the likes and stuff, but it really does help out quite a bit. And if you want to support the channel, down below, there are links to my Discord, and links to my Patreon, all that kind of good stuff. I'm a Bretonian. So, who are we going to be seeing? Oh, who's picking ban, is it? So, Stormrunner picked first, I believe, yeah. So, bunnies to pick and ban. I miss my greenskins. It's kind of funny, because we've had so many upsets, and I think it's due to a lot of the fact that all like top tournament players right now are just playing greenskins because they're so good that they like getting caught out by matchups they're not used to. But I think it does also kind of showcase a lot of the other factions, which is good to see. I mean, we saw High Elves in a competitive game. Come on. Looks like we're getting more chaos. I guess people are really pumped up by the little teaser showing the demons and stuff. So, Plebelites, also known as Deadly Bunnies, is going Chaos, banning Dark Elves and Vampire Counts. Very wise decision to ban Vampire Counts. That matchup is horrendous. Y'all go into the book. Quit your warring. I love it, Pone. I love it. I still can't get over your double Arcane Phoenix play on Tyrion stream not too long ago. I'm a Polish lizard. I guess by the name for Poland, you may well be Polish, but you had a good run in the tournament as well, man, I think, right? Getting all the way up to the quarterfinals. Write these names. Get those names. Put them in the book. I love the Great Book of Grudges. Dowie lore is amazing. It's so fun. I really need to read some more Warhammer books. I'm currently reading the Last Kingdom ones, though. I'm on book 4. My god, the Last Kingdom books are amazing. The TV show's really good. Really good fun. And then I started reading the books. I'm so hooked. So I'm probably going to have to go through all of them. There is a new season of Last Kingdom coming out, so now's a good time to get into it if no one's seen it before. It's set in the UK, so it has a special place in my heart, of course. And in the Viking era, which is one of my favourite eras of history. And yeah, it's very interesting. I don't want to spoil too much. There's 13 books. They're only doing 10 of those books in seasons. They do 2 books a season, so there'll be 5 seasons. Hello, taking a break from streaming to eat some food. No worries, Ice Pal. You'll be up in just a second as well, as it's, well, it depends. Daily Bunnies, if he wins this one, then he'll be going straight through to the best of 5 final, but Stormrunner is possible of coming back here. Looks like Stormrunner is going Wood Elves, perhaps wanting to bring a double dragon himself. Now, a really fun tactic you can do with the Wood Elves. You bring double Forest Dragon, you bring the Mage, what's her name, Spellweaver? I think that's her name. The Spellweaver up in the skies on an eagle, and she can make the double dragons invisible, which is hilarious. So they go invisible, they get unspottable and stalk, or something like that. And you just kind of float in towards the enemy, and then it's so close. You have to be right up in each of their faces before they see the dragons, and by that point they're just breath attacking down on you. It's hilarious. I have a game up against Logic where it happened, which I may like put up onto the channel. I'm not sure, but it's more of an example, I think, of why box builds aren't actually too strong. Stay tuned to Troyan's replays. Might be seeing something similar again. Oh, I hope so, man. I hope so. My thirst for Marathi sustains me. And here we go. And it's not double dragon, but there is a single dragon here. So, for the Forces of Chaos. Looks like they're going all ground. Often you'll see exalted manticores and stuff, but no, not today. Mortal Horsemen, bucket ton of them. Dotted all the way through the front here. We have Chaos Knights with Lancers. Deadly Bunnies has been listening to some pretty rock and roll albums recently. Look at the flayed skin stretched across their shields. These guys, pretty horrific. We have Chaos Marauders in a rather cheap front line. Triple Chaos Knights with Lancers. This is madness. It is a pretty kind of chaos, like a Chaos Rohan build, almost. We have double Exalted Hero, both coming in with Mark of Khorne, of course, and Horseback, and they're going to be rolling in a Doom Blob with Archaon the Everchosen, Flaming Sword of Ruin, Burning Head, Slayer of Kings, all that good stuff. We do, for Stormrunner, have some Glade Riders with Hagbane tips. Looks like they are going to be taken to the flanks here. Main battle line shall be made up of Dryads. We have Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shards. Oh my god, it's such cool builds. Someone are coming in with the Legendary Warriors. I love these guys. They fire 2 arrows at once and do magic damage. So double Deepwood Scouts in the central pocket. We have more Glade Riders in the back lines for protection. A single Waystalker, Arrows of Kurnos, is ready, just in case we see any pesky Hell Cannon plays. We have 1 unit of War Dancers. Now, if anyone's a simp for Marathian stuff, I feel like War Dancers, come on. Come on. Come on, guys. Like, you've been outmatched. Up in the skies, we have a Glade Lord, Helm of Discord, Deadly Onslaught, Foe Seeker. We also have a Spellslinger of Life, Earthblood, Regrowth, and Awakening the Woods. Now, the Glade Lord is one of the most underrated characters in the entire game, in my opinion. He is very powerful. Now, the Glade Lady is maybe situationally better, with the net, of course, coming in. But Helm of Discord, he can certainly do some good sniping. He will butcher Archaon if he gets the jump on him. Problem is, Archaon's going to 1 or 2 little bodyguards. Looks like all the cavalry is going to be rolling with him, plus those double exalted heroes. That's going to be a really nasty blob for this build to deal with, I think. But the War Dancers can certainly do it as well, taking them off their horses. So who's your money on? Quack Quack Blackthorn, how's it going? Warhammer 3 full release will be a little way, swaggies, because we have another DLC yet to come for Warhammer 2. It'll be the end portion of the year where it gets released. Virgin Wood Elves versus Chad Chaos Knights. I think Stormrunner ran a random unit generator for his build. I love the build. Arrows of Kernos straight away going after those Chaos Knights, and it looks like they killed 5 models. Not bad for a little elf to get some good damage out the gates, and those shots are now firing in, trying to focus them down. Now, the Glade Riders need to scoot their boots back as quickly as possible, that they may be pushed away by Marauder Horsemen, which would be a little scary. The Swift Shiver Shards are now unleashing hell upon those Chaos Knights. No, guys! Hold your internets! Hold them! This is scary though, because there's nothing to stop the Chaos Knights just from roaming into the back here, and this would force the Dragon to come down into this engagement, which he doesn't really want to do with the double Exalted Heroes and Archaon here. Azrai Spears will be pushing forwards, and my god, those Chaos Knights taking quite a pounding, it would seem. In the distance, Lancers charging to Glade Riders, not a good day for them. Big Fat Pendulum, maybe? Oh, Burning Head coming down on the Dryad. Slightly misplaced, though, as it does end up catching a ton of Marauders as well, but at the end of the day, you know, that's not too shabby. Both the Swift Shiver Shards have somehow survived the push of the enemy. Chaos Knight's been forced off. Now this is a lot less scary for the Dragon to land into, and it looks like he is floating over. As our Spears can't be everywhere at once, though, and this lone unit of Deepwood Scouts may be forced back here. Looks like the Glade Lord considered going after Archaon, but instead going after the Chaos Knights might be a better play. In the distance, Glade Riders have now beat back Marauder Horsemen. Glade Riders with Hagbane tips are also whistling down at the enemy skirmish. So Wood Elves doing really good in the skirmish game, but their main battle line just doesn't exist. There's no more Dryads anywhere on the battlefield, which is really scary, and these Chaos Knights continue to push into the Deepwood Scouts. The Glade Lord needs to jump back here, try to pin these guys in, allow the War Lancers for Azrai Spears to hop on top of them, and in comes the Eagle, clipping them from behind, and it will stop them and turn them around. Deepwood Scouts unleashing hell upon their pursuers. Good micromanagement though by Deadly Bunnies, going to be disengaging from the Eagle, continuing his pursuit of the Deepwood Scouts. Things are looking pretty dicey so far from the Wood Elves, but that's because we're mainly looking at this main battle line. In the distance, Wood Elves doing just fine. Dryads forcing back Chaos Marauders. The Marauder Horsemen wasting all their ammunition on targets that aren't really necessarily worth it. And Glade Riders with Hagbane tips will be able to win the skirmish game. So that Dragon needs to survive. Stormrunner needs to play this patiently. Okay, you've lost the Deepwood Scouts. That's fine. It's completely cool. Obviously, you don't want to lose them, but if you have to, it's okay. Just don't throw away the Glade Lord and the Eagle here. As Arcanos does go in, it seems to Archaon, not going to do too much damage. Glade Lord can sit up on top of the skies right now and continue to pepper Archaon to his heart's content. Bold, bold Spell Singer of Life darts in, needs to fall back. Awakening Woods goes down, well timed, does catch some of those knights to slow them down. That was a risky play, and sometimes the Eagles just don't like getting up in the air like this. Dryads can rally, and now the fact that there's not that many horsemen left alive, Chaos Knights-wise, which is still 2 units, they could cause some big problems here. I don't think we've seen any breath attacks from the Glade Lord yet, and he's got 3 to use, so we definitely want to see some of those coming in, just to ensure he can get all of them and get the max amount of value possible. He's floating right above Archaon right now. I assume he's trying to line one up, but Deadly Bunnies is constantly keeping his troops moving where possible. In the distance, the Marauder Horsemen have actually managed to beat back the Glade Riders, somehow managing to catch them. Second unit is firing in though, trying to support where possible. Dryads as well, running around the battlefield. And the beat up Azrai Spears. 25 kills on these ladies, unfortunately getting run over from the Flaming Hooves. And now the Spell Singer of Life tried to come in and support, could end up getting surrounded, but the Glade Lord not having any of it. Popping in here, running over those Chaos Knights, doing some massive burst damage to them. It seems like Chaos have, for the most part, won the mobility fight, though. They're managing to isolate a lot of the Dryads and finish them off. Big fat Burning Head comes down the line. I don't like this Burning Head whatsoever, because the Dryads are already broken, it just did a load of damage to their own Marauders, and may well go through the second unit. So I think the Burning Heads have been both kind of miscasts, to be honest. Yeah, the second unit of Chaos Marauders also taken a little bit of poke damage, but despite that, it's been a very good play so far by the Chaos. Awakening Woods goes down on the Chaos Marauders, getting some nice, cheap little value there. Chaos Knights slowly being finished off, Dryads will be able to break them down. And the Glade Lord's eventually going to have to try to go in for a snipe attack, but instead is going to be lining up a big fat breath on Archaon. Ooh, that's some damage right there. That is some damage. Nice work there. We have 2 more of those to go, and he can simply kite back with the Glade Riders or Hagbane tips. As long as he's shooting, it will count as attacking. In the distance as well, we have some War Dancers with spears, but apart from that, it's looking a little bleak. Balance power is only slightly in favour of Chaos, but that may just be due to the full health of the Glade Lord. Glade Riders with Hagbane tips are going to continue to snipe and kite the Chaos Knights rather successfully, although some Marauder Horsemen are here to support, and they're going to be much better at chasing these guys down, throwing those javelins as they do go. And it looks like the big engagement is kicking off, so the Glade Lord decides now is the time, now is the hour, launches into a frenzied attack on the Ever-Chosen. We're going to be seeing an Awakening Woods come down, Helm of Discord being popped, but likewise Flaming Sword of Rune, as well as Slayer of Kings comes down, and Archaon feels like a dragon tonight. He will easily deal with this dragon with Slayer of Kings active, and so much chaff support. If he's isolated, he will get kind of beaten bad quite badly, but this dragon doesn't really want to tussle with so many troops in one go, and the dragon doth fall. That was a very quick butchering, but not quick enough, unfortunately, for the Wood Elf lovers out there. And that's going to be game, I'm afraid. Yes, the Glade Rider is going to continue to kite for a little while, but it's going to be game over. Yo, what's up, Cap? Tell us. How's it going, champion? Hope you're all good today. Arcane can still free-shot that dragon. Yeah, Arcane's very scary, man. And he performed well. 2,000 damage value. His old hero's not doing too much, but they're relatively full health, and they work as nice bodyguards. As for the Chaos Knights or Lancers, this is one of the matchups I think they can be very good in. 1k damage value here, 2k on the other one. One of them, unfortunately, getting annihilated early on due to the Azrai Spear and pressure from the Deepwood Scouts. And he simply couldn't protect them. I mean, Deepwood Scouts got okay damage value across the board, likewise the War Lancers, but not paying for themselves at all. And the Glade Riders did relatively okay, but it was unfortunately a bit of a butcher in there, I think, for the most, at least as it comes for damage value. Waystalker got 600 and the Glade Lord 2,000 damage value, certainly not shabby, but he needed to use his other two breath attacks a bit earlier on to ensure that he could use them. Well, agree to draw to not ruin this moment. Oh my god. I love it. I love it. But well played to these two champs. We get Ice Power back in now. And we move on to the final. Final is best of 5, guys. So plenty of games left to come. Maps are Schwarzhafen, Tower of Hoef, Alpine Ridge, Bloodpine Woods, and Storm Demon. So let us quickly update the scoreboard. So that was a 2-0 there for the Might of Bunnies. But we will replace him now with a 0. And change this to Ice Power. What did you think of that game, guys? Some pretty rock and roll stuff. I love the triple Knight Lance build. Chaos Tonia prevails. It does indeed. Doom, baby, that's how I roll. I just imagine Deadly Bunny sitting at home right now listening non-stop to the Doom soundtrack whilst playing. That'd be amazing. Yeah, Chaos did win the Gamer Cat. I love your picture, by the way. Is that a cat wearing an Imperial Guards hat? Because if it is, mad respect to you. I couldn't not root for the Chaos Knights, especially with Lancers, man. They look cool. What's up, Real Human Being, as well? Yes, yes. Good to play some Vermintide with you yesterday. I've been getting into it a bit recently. I apologize, I was very tired, man. It was like 1 in the morning when you joined. I was like, ugh, let this end. Yes. So, map is this one. Tower of Hoef. Alpine Ridge. Bloodpine Woods. And Storm Demon. And it looks like Ice Power's picking a banner first. He does go Dark Elves, of course, in Ice Power fashion. Banning Wood Elves, banning Bretonia, as he is wont to do. Which are two relatively solid bans, in my opinion, in that matchup as well. Man, I would love to see some Swords of Chaos. Just say, let's get some Dowie in this live stream. Well, unfortunately, Ice Power doesn't play Dowie. I don't know if Deadly Bunnies does. Hopefully he does. Blackthorn pairs the Regiment Rounds Chaos Knights with the ones of the Lancers. For the speed boost, I can see that working well. Running down some of the Wood Elves. I don't even play Brett. That's fine. Still one of those bands you want to get out the way. Oh, he says Dark Elves? Shockface! I mean, you know, he's done very well so far. So he obviously wants to put on the display and get the dubs. Get those wins if possible. Let's have, you say you wonder what his lord is. I don't know if you've just joined Real Human Being. He played a Malekith game earlier, and it worked really well. All massive maps. We use most of the small ones up, I'm afraid. We used... Well, Alpine Ridge is small, because half the map's blocked. So I wouldn't say that's a large map. But we use, like, a Starlight Tomb and a Troll Country, which are honestly the only, like, viable small maps, unfortunately, at the moment. I have to guess... I'm excited for the new maps as well in Total Warhammer 3, mixing up a bit. He went Dark Elves, banned Bretonnia and Wood Elves. Yeah, banned Wood Elves and Bretonnia. Yeah. Alpine Ridge is relatively small. That's a grudgeon. Yeah, I'd love to see some more Darien action. 100%. Have you guys liked the little teaser that Total War dropped on us? It's got me pretty excited. Yeah, he didn't use Delmanti. Didn't use Delmantikives and didn't use Marathi. But at the end of the day, still got the dubs for it. And played it was actually a really cool build. I think it caught the Empire player really off guard quite badly. Just gave him a good edge early on. So it looks like Vampirates are going to be coming in here from Deadly Bunnies. The dreaded Drowned Legions. I do like the idea. What did they show? Not much Black Fawn. It was like 30 seconds and most of it was in gameplay. But they showed a giant frozen polar bear, which seems like some kind of avatar of a god or something. We saw some of the foot models for Kislev, some bloodletters. We saw the model for the Great Demon of Khorne. And we saw one of the magic spells, I believe, of the leader of Kislev, like the princess. So not much, but basically they announced that next Thursday, I want to say, off the top of my head, can't remember, there will be an actual live stream where they reveal a load of stuff for the game, which I'm probably going to do a chill sesh. If people want to come watch the live stream with me live, I'll probably just have it up on the channel as well. I think could be pretty fun. Chaos will be split into God factions. I think Demons will be split into the God factions. Yeah. I think that's confirmed. I think all 4 of the Chaos Gods are getting their own faction. So they'll have slightly different playstyles and stuff. Sebastian, what do you need to do to join DBD? So DBD, for those who don't know, is a clan that I technically am like the head of the clan, but we can't let everyone decide most things. And basically, what we need to join that is join my Discord. There's a link down below in the description. You play a few of the DBD guys, let them know and kind of be aware that you want to be part of the clan. We don't care too much about skill level. It's nice if you're a good player, but if you're a player who wants to learn, that's equally good for us, and we enjoy playing with those two people anyway. And basically, if your games are fun, you enjoy playing with people from DBD, they enjoy playing with you. The thing we value most by far is sportsmanship. No time for kind of toxic players or people who are rude to other people or try and cheat, any of that kind of stuff. So if none of that happens with your games, and everyone has fun with the games and are happy to play with each other and get on quite well, then we can induct you into the clan, basically. Next Thursday will be the cinematic trailer. Yeah, I'll probably just do a live stream of it, I think. Cannot wait to send my Skaven slaves to valiantly slay bloodletters. I wish you good luck, sir. Delete Dowie from game. Oof, that is a controversial opinion here by the Goosemeister himself. So it looks like Ice Power is ready. Let's go. Schwarsthafen shall be the map. Big flat open map. Nice lots of maneuverability you can do around it though. There's some small clumps of terrain. You can see like on the map here, there's little trees and stuff. But for the most part, it's a relatively straightforward scrap to the death. Oh, baby, we have a bloaty boy to try and keep track of. So, Deadly Bunnies coming in with the Vampirates, hot off his victory here, up against the Might of Storm. Zombie Pyrodecker mobs shall be his weapon of choice in the front line, mixed in with some basic deckhand mobs as well. Yeah, bucket ton of undead as expected. Up in the sky, are these just basic Felbats? It seems like they are. And honestly, a load of Felbats attacking you'd be really horrific. Just a load of bats trying to like nip at your neck and stuff would be a big pain, and we have 4 of them up in the skies, it would seem. Bloated Corpse down low. Guys, think of a name for him. If you guys want to name the Bloated Corpse in chat, let me know. We then have a couple of scurvy dogs, a big Crabbo, a rotting Leviathan here. Look at him! Look at little Mr. Krabs! Just we'll give him a little pat on the head. Don't get too close though, as he is rather disgusting. For the leadership core, we do have the double gunnery white. This is quite oftenly picked. Very good at sniping out enemy characters and so forth on their little crabs. They, of course, both coming with Scavescape as well. And we have Foot Noculus. Cat Noculus coming with all his summons, Invocation Heck, all the basic standard good stuff. Just slowly looking to drain out the Dark Elves and not bringing the back lines relatively clever because, yeah, you've got the gunnery rights to shoot, but apart from that, it's combat build. And the Dark Elves may have invested a lot of money into getting into that back line, and all of a sudden it's worthless. We have double Dark Riders over on this flank, and double on the other side for Ice Power and his Dark Elf hordes. Bleak Swords dotted through the front line. We have Dread Spears in the back, double Doomfire Warlocks, very interesting, one of which is the Senesch's Harvesters. These guys, of course, come with bound Word of Pain and Soul Stealer, and the basic ones come in with a bound Soul Blight and Lesser Doombolt. Soul Blight could be very important here to take down the crabs. We have a Sorceress of Fire, Burn in the head, double Ferromanticores in the sky, and he has brought Marathi. So Manticores and Marathi, the Ice Power Classic. Comes in with the Wand and Soul Stealer, as well as her Heartrender and Dark Sword and Enchanting Beauty. I mean, the one problem I have with this VP build is I don't know where the punch is going to come from. But these guys aren't going to win the front line still, though they are heavily outnumber the Dark Elves. I suppose it's the Rotten Leviathan and the Gunnery Whites and Count Noculus is what's really going to try to grind out the enemy. I hope the Bloated Corpse gets on a big target. I hope he does. Don't call him disgusted, he's a very nice crab. I mean, I would like to agree with you, but, oh no. I don't know. I'll let that up, leave that up to chat to decide. Let's name him George. Georgie, the drunken in his name. Yes, the dreaded Spider Boy. Should be good fun. So now the problem for Ice Powers is going to open up and be like, oh my god, there's no back line, what do I do? But the Dark Rise should be able to overwhelm a lot of these troops. And honestly, cycle charging Dark Rise in the front line is not even going to be the worst idea. The Manticores are going to be big problems alongside Marathi, who does come with anti-large. And both the Manticores as well will be able to overwhelm the Rotten Leviathan. Poor Bloated Corpse here may get jumped by Marathi, explode and just do no damage because it's really bad against single entity targets. Double Fairbat's trying to come after the Manticores. Looks like they're going to get jumped by all 3 single entities in one go. Just try and finish them off as quickly as possible. And yeah, they're going to start crumbling basically instantly. Although both Gunnery Whites are now moving over, looking to try to pepper down the Manticores. If they can make them rampage onto the ground, that'd be a really lovely play by the Vampirates. Farbats float high above the skies right now, nothing for them to really get into. So just Harvesters and Doomfire Warlocks just vibing, waving at them up in the skies. And it looks like Marathi has taken a bit of poke damage, but she can heal up. So I would rather see the Ferromanticores being shot a little bit. And it looks like one Ferromanticore is going to jump down on George. And yeah. No, yeah. No damage for George there, which is rather unfortunate. And Marathi has jumped on top of the Gunnery White. It looks like she's assisted by some Dark Rise and one of the Manticores. Going to do some nice damage, but needs to be careful. Scurvy Dogs can pin in troops. Likewise, Count Noculus can come in. Big fat Scavescape goes down, and the Crab is popping in with a summon. Marathi and Ferromanticore need to get out of there, but a fat Soul Stealer comes down as well. That is so much value coming in from the forces of the Dark Elves. Front lines are engaging. Once more, though, Bleak Swords are able to chew their way through the enemy rather comfortably. We might see some burning heads at some point. Doomfire Warlocks starting to get ready to engage in the front line. On the back burner, looks like the Manticores have managed to escape relatively unscathed, and not the same cannot be said for that Gunnery White. Oh no! The Manticore shot in the rear from those Gunnery Whites has turned it around and made it commit to a fight it cannot win. doing nice damage to the Gunnery White, but is now unsupported. Count Noctilus will easily be able to tear him down. So nice little pick there, and that's due to the good unit selection of those Gunnery Whites. However, the front line's just a wash. Like the Bleak Swords, the Sinistrous Harvesters, they're just running their way through the forces of the undead here. Dark Riders getting rear charges as well is really going to break off these units. And yeah, the loss of the Manticore is bad for ice power, but apart from that, everything's going so well. Feldbats are forcing off some of the Dark Riders in the distance, which is quite nice. There is still some chaff and Feldbats left alive, but this is a lot of Dark Elves left on the battlefield, and they can surround the crabs and eventually drag them down. Lauren Leviathan is basically full health at this moment. It looks like we are going to see a Invocation Heck go down on the Gunnery White, as well as one of the wands come down, maybe the lesser one. Still doing some okay damage though, nonetheless, as the Dark Elves decide to fall back and regroup a little bit here. No Fireball, which is a big loss for Ice Power, because Fireball would be so nice at assassinating this target, and Burning Head is basically got no purpose left. I mean, maybe to finish off this last unit over here in the distance, but that's about it. It looks like the guys were just saying good luck, have fun, and the Scab Escape's doing massive damage to the Bleak Swords. And that is certainly one thing which could drag this back to a more even playing field. Some Scab Escapes down the line here, catching these units, and in the later stages of the game will be rather scary. And the second Scab Escape has indeed gone down, such as Harvesters, as well as the Bleak Swords, losing a lot of morale due to that. Up in the skies, we do have a big nasty Wraith Storm come down, aiming at the Harvesters as well. Doing some good work to them, although they have popped their own Soul Sealer back, catching quite a few of these units. Scurvy Dogs aren't any done for. It looks like an Invocation Heck is going to attempt to heal them up. Minus 16 leadership though, minus 1. Yeah, they should be able to stabilise. And now we have that Manticore and Marathi who can come back into the fray. They were distracted for a long time, however. Now these Feldbats could also just slowly swoop over onto them to distract them where possible. In the back line, such as Harvesters have been terrified away, trying to finish off those Scurvy Dogs. They may have been able to do the deed, though. Minus 16 leadership's not looking too good for them. Count Noctilus is very healthy, likewise are all the crabs. Dark Riders do pour in, including the Doomfire Warlocks. And all these guys are now bunched up, ready for a fat Soul Stealer. And the support here, Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs, Polems are done for, so are the basic mobs. Dark Riders have been terrified and forced back at the moment. Spearmen are starting to move over to this main engagement looking to support. And the Scurvy Dogs looks like they're trying to get as far away from enemies as possible so they can hopefully regain their leadership. But minus 59 leadership, yeah, that's lights out for them. Soul Stealer is going to come down, only going to catch the 2 Gunnery Whites though. Although, did Count Noctilus walk into that? Count Noctilus did overcast an Invocation Heck to try and keep these guys nice and topped up. Marathi suffering due to the shooting power of these Crabos. Manticore does dart in, doing some nice damage. Marathi can now fall back and get up into the sky once more. It looks like we have another Soul Blight coming in, lowering the armor. We have wands coming down. We have Words of Pain. All the cavalry chucking itself in to this engagement, doing some nice work, trying to get rid of the Gunnery Whites as quickly as possible, because they're one of those units which can focus down Marathi from the ground to the air. Gunnery Whites though coming in very tanky. Another wand comes in, and yeah, there's got to be a dead Gunnery White surely. Minus 40 leadership, still fighting somehow, 850 leadership. There's a load of Bleak Swords just lining up, ready to take the place of the Riders. And Marathi doesn't have to engage. She can just save up money, constantly come down with those nasty shots. The Gunnery White does get healed by an Invocation Heck once more, getting near his healing cap at this point. The other Gunnery White is also near there. That is a large White Leviathan still going strong, and the Scab Escape comes down! Oh, that's disgusting work. Those Bleak Swords paying it dearly for the mismicromanagement there. Looks like this Gunnery White isn't going to be able to escape the main blob, looking to try to heal, kind of escape and recoup its morale. And the poor Manticore is just rampaging into the Leviathan and getting finished off by Count Noctilus, which is really bad news for him. Dark Riders are finishing off the Feldbats in the distance, and we have more Bleak Swords kind of dotted around the wings, waiting to engage in combat. We have another debuff coming in. What's it going to be? Is it a Soul Stealer? It is indeed a fat Soul Stealer coming down by Marathi, who swoops in looking to finish off that Gunnery White before deciding to fall back a little bit. Now, Count Noctilus is isolated and alone, but you can't kill him very easily, honestly. So being isolated is not a problem for him. Marathi comes in, just going to be able to finish off this Gunnery White. Not much hope for him then. We still have 74 Dread Spears here. That's pretty scary stuff. Manticore does hop in, gets the killing blow there on that mighty Gunnery White. Second one still to go, however. Count Noctilus getting rather low. His leadership is wavering, just surrounded by so many enemies. More gunshots go up in the skies against Marathi, who's trying to juke, but those guys are so accurate. Definitely wants to get rid of this Gunnery White, and the Manticore is going to come in with Marathi, for the snipe attempt, and he's done good work. I think both the Gunnery Wights have been a real inspired pick, but the Ferromanticore Morathi combo is particularly scary to such characters. We are going to see a summon come down by Count Noctilus to try to add a bit more chaff to help support the single entity targets. And Morathi, my god, is getting so low here. We have another spell coming in. Is it a Soul Blight or is it another Soul Stealer? It looks like it's a Soul Stealer, so Morathi managed to dodge the worst of those shots coming down from Noctilus and is going to be healing up once more. And it's looking real rough now for Deadly Bunnies. A valiant fight. Gunnery Wight is crumbling though. Count Noctilus is at his healing cap, and the Giant Crabbo won't have the greatest staying power if the leaders do break. That Gunnery Wight is pretty much done for. A huge Scab Escape coming down the line though. Massive damage onto the Bleak Swords and Dread Spears. Although there is no second one coming in. That has broken so many of the Dark Elf troops. Perhaps a comeback by Bunnies is on the cards as the Bleak Swords and Dark Riders do start to flee for their lives. But we have so many more Dark Riders just coming back into the engagement. Likewise, Doomfire Warlocks. I don't know if they have any debuffs left alive. Count Noctilus is down to 1,400 health. I'd probably now try to snipe him with Morathi despite his bonus versus large. Manticore has fled, minus 16 leadership, only 300 health. Very unlikely to come back. A lot of the troops of the Dark Elves are simply going to fall back at the moment, wait for the summon to disappear, and they just charge in with like the Broken Dark Riders and other such stuff. Count Noctilus, once again, a little bit isolated here, 1,200 health left on him. Morathi is floating around the skies. I'd like to see her floating above the main fight boat, so she does give the debuff to all of these units. But it seems like the Rotten Leviathan can indeed shoot, and it has so much ammo left. Is popping shots into Morathi now and again. Count Noctilus getting very, very into the danger zone here. Dread Spears, Doomfire Warlocks, Dark Riders. There's just a number of quantity over quality here, as the Dark Elves will be able to surround and bake down these troops. Count Noctilus has hit his healing cap at the moment. Arcane Conduit going down. Perhaps an Invocation Heck on the Rotten Leviathan will be able to turn this game. And Morathi coming in, sensing weakness in Noctilus, sensing that he's so low, getting in there, doing some huge damage on the charge, and should be able to pull back through her own Dark Riders without taking any hits in return. Masterful Morathi play by Ice Power, and yet another Soul Stealer coming in here. With that, Royal Leviathan just kind of stopped fighting. He's like, oh, what's the point? What's the point? I don't want to live anymore if my master's not here. One big old butt slam to end it all, and he is going to be going down. Well played, really awesome game. Looking at the builds, I didn't think Deadly Bunnies had a chance, but those Gunnery Wights certainly caused massive problems. Really well played to both those guys. That was a very close game indeed, although Ice Power shall be getting the victory here. Count Noctilus, 1,100 damage value, solid work, but both the Gunnery Wights, 2.8k, 2.3k, amazing work with the Scab Escapes, good sniping potential as well. The Zombie Pipe Deck Hamubs did, of course, nothing, and were just fodder, basically. Likewise, the Fell Bats. Royal Leviathan, 1,100 damage value, not too shabby. Blood Corpse, unfortunately, only 57 damage value with 0 kills. The Mighty Morathi, 4,000 damage value. My god, very powerful stuff. Sorceress of Fire basically had no good types with a Burning Head, so only 3 damage value from her. The Bleak Swords across the board did okay. They did their job clearing out the chaff and surrounding the single entities in the end game. Likewise, same situation for the Dark Riders. Now, the Snatchers Harvesters and the Doomfire Warlocks performed really well. 1.2k damage value, 900. Their debuffs are very powerful when you come up against a build such as this. The Manticores, 1,600 damage value on one. The other one, 494. GG's. Too busy looking at the crap. Yeah. So on to Tower of Hoeth next. Tower's up next, but he does have Dark Elves out the way, which of course is by far Ice Power's kind of, #1 faction. Yeah, the Crab Wights did bits, I agree. What's up, Major Moolah? One of the greatest things about the game is that a lower tier faction can beat a higher tier faction in the right hands. Exactly. hey, 57 value, not bad, not too shabby. We're proud of you, George, we're proud. Yeah, Morathi with 4k. Ice Power has certainly, I'm sure he's a very happy man right now with that. It is, I agree, Major. 57 value is better than 56. Oh my god, Benedict. Blows are less about the damage, but more about asserting your dominance on the battlefield. I 100% agree. I agree 100%. Cat Morgan, I see Ice Power still at it. What's up, Scourge of the West? How are you, buddy? Hope you're all good today. Ah, and we've got the might, the legend, Italian's favourite son of Italy, Samurai Warrior. How's it going, buddy? Footnoculus and the crab could be too much. It had potential. It really did have potential. But, alas, it was dragged down by the Cycle Charger. Yeah, Vampires are no longer like S tier or anything. I still think they're quite a bit above Dark Elves at the moment. I still think a lot of people haven't figured out how to play Vampires properly, but in the right hands, they're still very scary. You can see Anticity winning a lot of tournaments with them. The win rate fin as well is a little from the WOC. I appreciate the statistics, and I think they do help, but like, it's saying like, oh, Norsca is one of the worst factions in the game, when in reality it's just because they're a very often first-picked faction and kind of a bandage answer to so many other factions, where I still think Norsca are very powerful. I have a fin back in my head that still will nerf Marathi just because of ice power. Just like how they nerf Grombrindle because of Grombrindle, I assume, yeah. Did we see any rats yet? Yes, we saw... Did we see Skaven? Maybe we haven't. Maybe there was some Skaven played in the tournament. I was watching Ice Power's streaming his point of view as well, and I watched him defeat some Skaven early on. I don't know if we've had any in the semi-finals yet. But a lot of chaos, which is nice to see. That's what Dave Bunnies is considering. So let's update the scoreboard while we have a little break here. So that is 1-0 to Ice. And it's a best of 5, have the guys, so Bunnies, plenty of time for the comeback. Ooh, Vampire Counts ban Wood Elves and High Elves. I like the bans. Skaven are still very powerful, I think just because Greenskins are so insanely dominant. Like, people aren't really practicing with Skaven, like top tier players, they're just all practicing with Greenskins a lot of the time. So we've seen a lot less of Skaven, but they're still very, very, very good faction. I would still probably say they're the second best faction in the game off the top of my head, but I'd have to look into a bit more, obviously, to see the current meta and all that good stuff. Rats need a better representation in the modern workplace. Equality for the horned rat. I will, though this is a non-greenskin tournament, I will actually be doing a greenskin video to put up after the live stream. I still need to cast it, so it'll be up like maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours after the live stream. But I had a really good fun game against Way a little while ago that I'm going to pop up, showing the true power of the greenskins and where it actually lies. Ice Power considering his life options right now and what he wants to go. I would most likely go Norsca if it's me, but that's only because I've got a pretty nice Norscan build up against VC. Pretty nasty one. Yes, yes. So, Tavhearth is the map. After this, we have Alpine Ridge, Bloodpine Woods, and Storm Demon. So, plenty more to come. Alpine Ridge is always a fan favourite of mine. Some players don't like it, but it adds quite an interesting aspect to the battlefield, which is something I think they may start... Looks like, just from the screenshots and so forth we've seen of Total Warhammer 3, they're certainly trying to do with sieges. Looks like you can spend points to like upgrade parts of the siege, maybe. We'll obviously have to wait till Thursday before we get the full reveal and enjoy all the goodies that will be on display. Yeah, Poison War is still very strong. I know they got the debuff, but it wasn't much. They're still very good. And although Frot got a debuff, he's still pretty solid. I like personally myself using Deathmaster Snekich because he's way cooler. Likewise is Itic Claw, but Lord Skrulk is probably, if I'm going into a competitive game, the one I'm taking most of the time. Although Master Assassin can do bits for me as well. Yeah, I'm going to quickly, while these guys are, while Ice Powers are having a brain freeze, I'm going to quickly get a link to my Discord that I can send you guys. It looks like it's going Bretonia! Nice. We'll probably see Faye try and counteract the Mortis engines with Mortis engines. So let's get an invite. Oh, God, let's mess that up. And then, pop over to you guys. And bam, here's a link to my Discord. If you guys are wondering how to get into games like this, how to get into events that I host, keep up to date with the channel, see a load of pictures of the ducks, hang out with a load of cool guys, there's a link to my Discord right there. You can find another link as well to that down below in the description, as well as links to my Patreon and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, let's have a little look what the guys are planning. So in this matchup, it's an interesting one. I think the Vampire Counts need bring Scab Escapes to deal with Peasant Bowmen, and probably some form of mobility as well to try to shut down the Archers, because the Archers could certainly carry this. Now, I'm not saying Ice Power, so my voice just died like mid-conversation. I'm not saying Ice Power has to bring Royal Hippogriff Knights, but if he doesn't, I'm sure we'll all be very disappointed in him. I agree, Nick. I think a lore-accurate Da Vinci versus Ittic rival would be fantastic. Yeah, like, spells people didn't use as the meta changes, all of a sudden people find uses for them, or people figure out matchups a bit better and start trialing stuff out. You can often see stuff which was kind of like considered a meme before, considered bad, actually come to the forefront of the meta, which is hilarious. Dreaded 13 spells can be amazing here. Summoning Storm Vermin, always quite useful, but also massive burst damage to the Knights if it connects. But of course, you can work some Warp Grinders to pin in those nasty Knights. We have the Mist of the Lady versus the Claw of Nagash. So those who were, someone was asking for Vampire Counts earlier on the stream, I think. Cool. Looks like I actually had a few people join the Discord as well, which is funny. You normally get a welcome duck from someone as well. Cool. So it looks like there's something going down in the clan chat, but I'll get to that later. Cool. Looks like the boys are ready. So let's rumble. Tower of Hoeth. A fun map. It can be abused, but luckily we do have tournament rules to stop people just camping in the forests. Which, by the way, due to some stuff which happened in the tournament yesterday, for the next season of DBD, I'm updating the rules, just adding some extra clarity on forest camping, basically. So the way I see it is the rule simply states no forest camping, which basically leaves it up to the referee or tournament host to decide what they consider forest camping to be. So if you hide all of your ground troops in a forest, entire army, and you just have flying units moving forward, I'm going to, from now on, that is just straight out classed as forest camping and isn't allowed. But we can get to those kind of rules disputes and stuff whenever they pop up. Hopefully they won't. Anyway, let's have a look at Deadly Bunny's build. We have Skeleton Spearman and Skeleton Spearman and Swordsman. My god, my mouse dying now. And zombies dotted through the front line. We have Triple Blood Knights. He seems to be a big fan of heavy shock cavalry. First the Chaos Knights with Lances, now the Blood Knights. Their shield sigils are so badass. It's so cool. And particularly because their models still from game 1, they've really aged quite gracefully. We have a Mortis Engine. Some Felbats up in the skies to put a bit of pressure on the enemy. Manfred von Carstein on horseback with Spirit Leech, Invocation in the Heck, and Raised Dead. Also Master of the Black Arts. And Double White King as expected on horses with the Scab Escape. So Scab Escape seems to be a big friendly weapon for Deadly Bunnies, as he did use it last game as well, and it's going to be super useful to taking out the Peasant Bowman. Now, speaking of peasants, we have a load of Peasant Bowmans in the third battle line here for Ice Power, Peasant Mobs in the first line, and Men-at-Arms in the second. Of course, carrying at the back, we're going to be getting all the Knights of Bretonnia. We have Knights of the Realm, 1 unit on either flank, and up in the skies, no Royal Hippogriff Knights, but Royal Pegasus Knights. Ice Power, you hero. You never see this unit. They do magic damage, which gives them a nice little niche. They're anti-large, they're living saints, certainly looking to win the air game where possible. And they're supported by Alberic. What? What is going on? This is amazing. So we have Alberic as well, coming in with the Wrath of Manon, as well as the Braid here, which does give the added 8 bonus versus large. And his air core should just instantly destroy... I mean, it's only Fellbats, but if he's expecting dragons. But now, these guys are going to guarantee themselves to get the charge on those Blood Knights, which may really help them out here quite a bit. Damage to life, Earthblood regrowth as expected, whilst bringing such characters. Man, we've had so many cool builds and factions played in today's tournament. It really has been a bit of a treat. Dark Elves have been kicking tail today, man. They've been doing really good. You can use Woodsman, 100%, Leog. You can have a load of your forces hidden in the trees, but you cannot have an entire Death Star hide in the trees whilst you fly and try and waste ammo of Hawk Riders, for example. Because no one wants to see that. It's terrible. It's bad sportsmanship, in my opinion, and yeah. So, that's just for future events. But of course you can fight in the forest. That is absolutely fine, but you just can't have your entire army hidden in there. So, Alberic is going to be flying back to the battle anyway. Royal Hippogriff Knights have been hit by a Spirit Leech. Now, Spirit Leech is going to be really quite nasty, but they still have all their models. They can be healed up by Earthbloods and other such effects, and also that's just what's going to happen. So, basically trading the Spirit Leech for an Earthblood, not too shabby whatsoever. Blood Knights are floating out on this right-hand side. They are starting to get peppered down now by the Peasant Bowman, who can do some nice target priority on the Mortis engine and try and whistle it down, because the front line fight's basically just going to be a wet noodle contest. Like, they're just going to be bumping and grinding against each other. It's going to be pretty horrific. It's really going to come down to who can win the Blood Knight and character engagements, I think, in my opinion. It looks like the White King's getting a little danger close, ready to pop those Scabascapes down on the Peasant Bowman. Ice Power is well aware of this, though, and decides to fall back a little bit. Pegasus Knights are going to be jumping zombies, which... it gets them off the field, I suppose. It's kind of a waste of their time, but at the same time, you need to do them eventually. A load of the arrows still raining in. And do we have any summons coming down? I'm certainly expecting to see some summons on the back line, although the Knights of the Realm are being used here to protect. The White King is being forced back by the Royal Pegasus Knights and Alberic, trying to keep these guys away from the main engagement. Blood Knights do float on that right-hand side. They can certainly slam into these Peasant Mobs and just break through the front line, then allowing the zombies a quicker route to the Peasant Bowman. And I think that's going to be the best way for the Vampire Counts to play this. Like, the Blood Knights have been a little too passive. Slam in, destroy the kind of front line for Bretonnia, and then the back line won't be able to do too good. Double Scabascape goes down, though. Not going to kill too many models, but does lovely HP damage. They'll still have a decent amount of damage output, but they are broken from the field for now, and we're going to see that big flank overload come in, I think, on this side. Morse engine is currently being protected. Knights of the Realm hit by a Spirit Leech. We're considering charging into this blob. Very risky stuff. Shriveled Blood Knights can now turn to re-engage. And Alberic and the Pegasus Knights may be stuck up against the Fellbats. And look, that's just what's happening. Shriveled Fellbats come in, but it's a trap. The Wrath of Manon is being brought upon the Blood Knights. And they're going to just about get caught by it. Managed to juke some of it. Huge HP damage coming in. Alberic has popped in. Royal Pegasus Knights also engaging in the fray. Somehow there's massive damage to those Blood Knights. I love that spell coming in. The Wrath. Peasant Bowman as well, pouring fire in. More Knights desperately trotting their horses as quickly as possible to come assist Alberic, because it's looking a little rough for him over in that engagement. Where are the Pegasus Knights? They're distracted by Fellbats in the back line. That is one of the weaknesses of such units in this matchup. Royal Pegasus Knights have managed to force back the Royal Blood Knights, who, of course, simply can be healed up here. Alberic did manage to retreat, however. We've got more Knights of the Realm who might want to just commit to this fight. It seems like it's an all-or-nothing showdown right now in this big old blobby mess. We do have an Earthblood coming down, healing up those Royal Pegasus Knights, who should be able to escape and come back. But likewise, Invocation the Heck shall be healing up a lot of the Blood Knights. So some of them not getting the heals because it's decided that the White Kings needed the healing instead. More Peasant Bowmen continue to pour fire in from all angles right now, and the backline's still not being forced back because the Fellbats were deleted early on by the Royal Pegasus Knights. Alberic is fighting over, once again, looking to get engaged, and I think with the Knights of the Realm and Pegasus Knights, if he keeps coming in like this, that bonus versus large really is going to help and stack up. Mortis Engine is getting deleted. We're going to be pulling back through Blood Knights, who are slowly getting whittled down here by Peasant Bowman fire. Men-at-Arms beating down zombies as expected, and the hordes of peasants can now flock over and try to bog down the knights and help saturate in, allowing the Royal Pegasus Knights to fare a little bit better, because they are kind of getting beat back on all fronts at the moment. But due to some good scab escapes, peasant mobs and men-at-arms are being forced back by zombies and skeleton spearmen. Earthblood is going to keep the Royal Hippogriff Knights relatively healthy. Still 13 models isn't too bad. They've got a lot of damage potential left on them. We have a weird heal kind of bouncing around the place there at the moment. Double White King is going to be tough though. Including Manfred von Garstein, Blood Knights are getting Invocation Hex up, and they've managed to force their way into the Peasant Bowman, which is exactly what Bretonnia didn't want. These peasants needed to be over there to try and blockade the enemy where possible. Royal Pegasus Knights are looking relatively healthy, once again getting the charge on the Blood Knights, and you've taken away one of the Blood Knights' most powerful tools, which of course is that 78 charge bonus. More Blood Knights do flock out here though to help assist, and the Royal Pegasus Knights have overstayed their welcome a little bit. Knights of Realm try to beat down the Mortis Engine with Alberic, who has been forced off, and those double White Kings are causing all kinds of problems. Balance power is in Vampire Count favour, and the Peasant Bowmen have fled, but should be able to come back at the moment. They can deal with the Blood Knights. Oh, it looks like a Wrath is going to come in, but it was cancelled rather wisely because Deadly Bunnies did spot it. Another Invocation Hex coming in onto those Blood Knights. Blood Knights are so disgustingly strong when you combine it with their healing. Definitely one of the best cavalry units in the game, although I would argue the companions for the Bretonnia are a bit stronger. Alberic once again does dive in. White King is tussling with a Damsel of Life, which is really bad news for Bretonnia. And Alberic can't even really get over there and support. He has darted in onto the Blood Knights. Pegasus Knights also come in, doing some nice work to them, and they've been pinned in place. A Wrath is coming down, but they manage to squeak their bums clear. Still going to do some decent damage. Also, of course, breaks up the peasant mobs, but they're peasant mobs. It's what they're there for. Mortis Engine is healing up quite nicely right now, and Alberic needs to try to get something on top of that to deal with it. Very close fight. Peasant Bowmen are back online once again in 3 separate areas. Not easy to shut down whatsoever. Blood Knights have fallen back, and teetering on the edge. They're kind of wavering. Alberic going to hop on top of them. Royal Pegasus Knights are jumping in, trying to help support. And looks like this unit of Blood Knights has been dealt the final blow. Did the Damsel of Life escape? No, she got shattered! That is a disaster. Nothing to heal up Alberic, nothing to heal up these knights. He's really going to have to stick with them and keep trying to heal them where possible. He's going after Manfred right now. Mortis Engine is still alive though, which is very scary stuff. We have a unit of 10 Royal Pegasus Knights here in the skies, which can do some lovely shock damage, but a lot of the Knights of Realm are being shattered at this point. Another summon coming down as well. Royal Pegasus Knights really charging into the White Kings. Manfred could go down and die here, which would give a massive negative leadership to all the remaining forces of the Vampire Counts, and the peasants has have nothing to shut them down right now. Alberic falls back. He needs to continue to fight alongside his Pegasus Knights, or they need to fall back out of this. Mortis Engine is now the focus of those archers' attention, which is a really good target because it's healing up all these troops. Minus 25 leadership, yeah, it's going to be going down. Alberic considering swooping in once more, and cycle charging going to be very powerful here in the late game. That is the bonus of a Flying Lord, but no healing really could cost ice power this game right now. Balance power is heavily in favour of the Vampire Counts, due to the fact there's not much ammunition left on these peasant bowmen, I suppose, and a summoned unit of zombies is going to force these peasants to start running, because otherwise that's a lot of value wasted from them. Double White King, very healthy. Manfred as well. Master Black Arts has been popped. Royal Pegasus Knights have fled. Imagine an Earthblood right now on all these Pegasus Knights and Alberic. It'd be huge. Peasant Bowmen continue to use up all their ammunition. Try now to snipe out Manfred, which is probably the best idea. If you can kill Manfred, then you can cycle charge the White Kings to death. Fingers crossed, I suppose. But Ice Power decides, you know what? I don't think there's any hope here, and we're going to be hopping out. Man, that was another close game. Well played to these two guys. I love the triple Royal Pegasus Knights. 2.2k damage value, 1,400, 752. So a bit of a mixed bag. Getting caught out early on that left kind of big blobby engagement. And blobbing against the Vampire Counts is so hard. Peasant Bowmen, mixed bag as well. Most of them getting rather high damage value, kind of around the 1k mark. 1.4, 900, 1.2, all that good stuff. Men-at-Arms had the best day of their lives, getting a ton of kills, but not much damage value. Damsel of Life as well, unfortunately, getting sniped really did cost ice there. Alberic, 3.5k damage value. Very well played. The Foot Core, Manfred, 1.6k. Double White King, 1.2, 1.3 respectively. Basically just slowly ground out the enemy. Triple Blood Knights are very scary. 1.6k damage value, 1.2, 1.2. I think a big misplay from Ice Power early on was using those archers to snipe down the Blood Knights, so we're getting healed up rather than sniping down the Mortis Engine, because he got 2,000 damage value. And it was constantly healing all of those troops. So really nice play though by Deadly Bunnies to keep him alive and happy. GG. So up next we have my player, Alpine Ridge. Let's update the scoreboard. Hopefully we go all the way. I want to see more games. So Deadly Bunnies is up 1-0 now. And the fight back is on. Horse Manfred, let's go! Yeah, it was an interesting Bretonian build. It wasn't like your typical Fey style. I mean, he had to charge in the Knights, I guess, though, unfortunately. They're better for, like, those surgical snipes. But at the end of the day, like, he had no way of winning the blob fight, so he kind of had to keep charging them in. What is this madness? Swaggle says GG, agreed. Yes, Ice. I feel like Ice knows what to do. I feel like he knows Nakai's needed, right? Going Lizman, banning Scowie, Scowie? Oh my god, banning Skaven and Dowie. I just combined Dowie and Skaven together, Scowie. It's a new sub-faction. It's like Dowie who got infected by Skaven and a kind of a half-rat, half-dwarves. That'd be horrific to face. Heavily armoured Skaven, my god. That'd be disgusting. That would be disgusting. So, here's a man of the people though. Bring Lizmen. Happy to see them in action on this map as well. I think Lizmen do prosper because it certainly allows you to rush over that hill, close down ranged troops. What's up, Nathis? How are you? I love the little heart and duck. Hope you're doing good on this fine day. You've made it in time for the finals. The Scowie shall rise! The Scowie shall rise! Oh, looks like I got some messages, but we're all good. Nothing I think that's too important right now. Just gonna quick check on Discord. Oh my god, I've got so many messages. Yeah. So I just got a message someone said every time I turn into a stream, it's Nakai winning another glorious battle. Which is funny. Cool, let's hop back and see what they decided. Did he go Beastman? It's not unwinnable. You just go like Triple Minotaurs. That's that kind of gambit. And then a load of Centicles with throwing axes to try to beat Temple Guard boxes. But it's not good. It's not good. But he's seems to be considering. Hope VC get a DLC. It would be amazing if they drew on some of the new Soulblight Vampire models. That'd be cool. I'm doing great. Glad to catch the finals. Well, welcome, man. Yeah, it should be good fun. It's been a really fun tournament throughout. It's been refreshing, if I'm being honest, with the no greenskins, because at this point, we're in the final. We definitely would have seen at least 3 greenskin matchups by now, but instead we've kind of mixed up. We have seen double chaos matchups, though, which is actually maybe even triple chaos. Maybe chaos is the new OP. What's up, Captain Rum Panda? Good evening, Ducky. How was your day? My day's been pretty chill. It's mainly been revolved around, obviously, organising this tournament, because the stream's only been going for, what, a couple of hours? But obviously the tournament starts way earlier, so it's kind of been admin in that. But it's been pretty chill. Tomorrow I'm going to have, hopefully, it's sunny here in the UK, but I think it may rain, unfortunately. But hopefully going to go for a bit of a hike. And then Friday I've got a live stream coming up again. But yeah, hope you're all good, man. Glad to have you back here. It's like still considering options. I don't want to say anything less than the Kai is a waste of time, but you know. Yeah, there's really 100 people watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. If you are, consider leaving a thumbs up, of course. And if you're new, consider subscribing. It does help out like way more than people think, I swear. Like, it really does help push videos out a lot. Boy Ducky, when will there be a new tournament? Probably next week. I'm going to figure something out with Flying Taco. So we're also going to try and host an event then. But it'll most likely be next week, yeah. I would assume. Also, what's your guys... Like, I've been playing a bit of Vermintide recently. And it's been really cool. The new Chaos Waste fin, where you, like, walk into the Chaos Wastes. So, would you guys like if I just did a Vermintide live stream? I probably wouldn't be able to interact too much with chat, because we'd have to have, like, 4 players, obviously, who communicate to each other, because Vermintide's kind of a cooperative-based game. But just, like, live stream a couple of runs in the Chaos Waste, I thought might be quite fun. I don't know if people would be into it. Car salesman, the only hikes I go for are price hikes. What's up, Optimus Prime, man? Good to see you. Spirit of the Jungle. No, it's a deadly lizard man mirror match. I always tend to do a faction tournament. I'd have to ask Turin, really, because that's kind of his jam right now. All logic, if it was a sub-faction tournament, he did one and they seemed good fun. So I wouldn't mind also doing one, but... Is the Chaos DLC worth Emperor Dark? Blackthorn, the Chaos DLC is free for Vermintide. It's just a free update. Which is crazy. I don't have any DLCs on it, but if you join a party of someone who has one, you get all the Beastmen stuff as well. It's been really good fun. So I'll have to gather like a ragtag team of people or something and get it going. Man, head-to-head campaign would be fun. It's just, campaigns have always done, like, notoriously terrible on my channel. Ice Power's ready. This is an interesting matchup against each other. Because your initial instinct's to go big dinosaurs and Temple Guard. The problem is you get kite with that type of build. I like a bit of a mid-ground. I don't know if I bring Temple Guard. I might bring 1 unit of Temple Guard or 2. I go Feral Dreadsaurian, Slann Mage Priest of Life, and a Feral Carnosaur, because that's enough to take down enemy large dinosaurs. It will do the work. Then you need some Chameleons and some Skink Cohorts just to force away the enemy skirmish, because if they've committed real heavily, you just use them to force them away, and then the big dinosaurs kill everything else, basically. Yeah, Falcon's been playing a ton of Vermintide recently, I think. Hey, looks like these lads are ready to rumble. Let's get it cracking. WWW asks, would you rather be a Skaven slave for 10 years or stand next to a Great Unclean One for 1 minute? Does the Great Unclean One, like, eat me? Can I die? Or am I guaranteed to survive? And do I survive at full health? Like, after the minute, am I completely fine? Because in which case, I would probably say that. Because Skaven slaves don't normally last 10 years. So, further quickly, do we have... Oh, it's not double Nakai. Okay. Deadly Bunny's trying to win over the hearts of the people. And counteract Ice Power's Nakai pick earlier on. Is picking Nakai himself. And he's not coming in with the slow, but he's coming with Primal Roar, which is so powerful. 40 melee attack, 22 physical resistance. You have him amongst Temple Guard and you pop that. Those Temple Guard are killing anything. We also have a Skink Priest of Beasts. Again, a good combo. You summon a Manticore next to Nakai. You increase its melee attack. It hits every single time. No. What's happening? Why did my game kick out? I'm back. Okay, we're back. My PC was like, you haven't updated your OneDrive. I'm like, I don't care. We have Sotek, we have Saurus with Spears, we have Chameleon Skinks dotted all the way along, we have Skink Cohorts with Javelins as well to help support, Temple Guard, the 1 unit, Saurus Spearman as well, and it looks like we have double Feral Stegodon now. Feral Stegodon's on the charge, hit like an absolute truck, you pop that extra 40 melee attack on them, and my god, I love this idea, it can be pretty powerful. So, yeah, Chameleon Skinks going to be looking to try to pressure the enemy, Skink Chiefs as well. Fun build, I quite like it. For Ice Power's Lizardmen, though, coming in with the red theme, we have Skink Cohorts in the front line with Javelins themselves, as well as some Chameleon Skinks. We have Saurus Spears dotted throughout. We also have a nice little skirmish course. So we have the Umbral Tide, Regiment Renowned, some of the Hunter Packs, and Razordon Hunting Packs themselves. If we can protect them, they'll do a good job for him, no doubt. Code of Sotek, as well as some Cold One Riders dotted through the back lines. We have a Skink Priest of Beast with simply the Manticore Summon. Again, a Skink Chief, but for Lord option, we have a Saurus Old Blood on a Carnosaur. Let's give him a little neck scratch, a little pat on the head. Looks like he enjoyed that one. He's coming in with the Horn of Kygor, Amulet of Itzal, and Stand Your Ground. Interesting builds. It's going to come down to, can the Untitled and Raised on 100 packs get value, basically? Are they allowed to shoot into Nakai, the Stegodons, the Temple Guard? Because if not, it's going to be a struggle, I think, for Ice Powers. But who are you rooting for? Nakai or the Old Blood? Let me know. Yeah, the dreaded Windows update ambush, my god. And Windows can't update my PC. Like, it fails every single update, and I have no idea how to fix it. So when they update it, I basically get blue screen of death, like, constantly. So I then have to go back to an older version of Windows. It's a nightmare. It's truly a pain. Chameleon Skinks pressurizing the enemy Chameleon Skinks here. It's been like, hello. Skink Cohorts popping over the high ground as well. And they're going to be a good counter to the Chameleons throughout. Cold and Riders getting eager, looking to push in. Looks like the Salamanders have announced their arrival with a few misses and a little bit of friendly fire even, perhaps. The guy is going to have to be careful here. He doesn't want to tussle with the Untitled for too long. Skink Chief is going to start poking down enemy Skink Skirmishers, which is going to be such an awkward fight. Skink Cohorts starting to wrap around the flanks as well, which is a good idea. Raised on Hunter Packs are having to fall back at the moment, and this is going to be a lot of micro by both players. Skink Chief is popping shots into Nakai, trying to damage him where possible, and those pesky Ferrostegodons. Load of Chameleon Skinks do return the presence, though, of Blow Darts onto the Skink Chief in double. Colon Riders are now taking a bit of damage. They need to pull back, get to relative safety right now, or he's simply going to get kited into some kind of horrible existence. Skink Cohorts throwing javelins into Skink Cohorts who have javelins and will no doubt start throwing them back. And it looks like that's just what we're going to see here. And the mighty javelin off is. This is like a Rome Total War. There's javelins everywhere getting into each other, and neither are going to be doing that much damage to the other. Nakai dancing with glee, coming in with a thunderous charge. Ice skating his way through those Skinks on their blood. Both the first aid-ons do pop in, and I hear a Manticore summon. It is coming in for Ice Power, and there's going to be a counter Manticore summon coming in by Deadly Bunnies. Now, Nakai's taking a bit of burst damage there. Raisons and Untitled doing massive work. Nakai down about third health. Saurus Old Blood getting in there, taking him down to half health now. Saurus Spears are here to support. Nice damage. Plummeroar's been popped. Oh no! That means he's going to rampage. Ice Power, fall back. If he falls back with the Saurus Old Blood, he can pull him into the shots of the Razordons and Untitled, and there's nothing that Deadly Bunnies can do about it. That's really bad timing of the pop, but at the same time, Ferrostegodons are now up to pretty impressive stats, but Nakai's basically dead. Ferromanticore popping on top of him. The Ferromanticore decides to go after the Skink Priest of Beasts, rather than shutting down the Salamanders and the Razordons, which has allowed them just to fire an unholy amount of damage into Nakai, who's down to 600 health at this point. Has a chance to return to the field here. Saurus Old Blood is now going toe-to-toe with the Ferrostegodons, has rampaged one of them. Cold One's Riders are going to be helping support. Untitled need to try and survive with their Razordon Hunter Packs, because they can shoot and do some massive damage. But it looks like these Cold Riders have over-engaged into Temple Guard. Definitely want to see these guys pulling back and being used to help protect the Razordon Hunting Packs where possible. Nakai has rallied. The hearts of the people do rise once more, although he's going to be hiding in the trees. Probably the best tactical approach, I would say. Cold of Sotek are ravaging the back lines for now. Cold Riders still hooked up on Temple Guard, but trying to get back to help protect. Likewise, Saurus Old Blood, Amulet of Itzal has been popped. Can be used now to just annoy the Saurus Spears. And with Chameleon Skink support, they are going to slow them down with poison and allow the hunting packs to once again secure their footing and rain hell down upon these feral Stegodons. More firepower coming in on the Saurus Spearman, who is getting absolutely roasted in the centre here. Ferromanticore of Ice Power has been summoned and is getting brought down onto the Ferrostegodons, looking to once again assassinate one of the giant beasties. And oh my god, the burst fire coming in! The Razordons, the Untitled, huge work, although one unit of Saurus Spears has popped onto the Razordon hunting packs, looking to shut them down for good. He needs to pull back with them and push forward with the Skink Cohorts of Javelins to finish these guys off. Ferrostegodons not having a good day of it. Up in the skies, Cold of Sotek, Refuse to Die, has popped in and can be used now to hunt down these hunter packs who are kiting back for now. Where is Nakai? Looks like he's still hiding in these trees. He's actually fallen back a little bit more homeward bound. And this game's still very close, despite the fact he's taken so much damage early on. Saurus Old Blood, oh, be careful of the friendly fire. Saurus Spearman again pummeled pretty good though. Queen Skinks trying to push forward. Maybe want to just focus fire down the Saurus Old Blood, do some nice damage where possible, as the last Feral Manticore summon has been dismembered. Ferrostegodons, though, looking a little bit worse for wear, but still very much fully operational. Cold Riders are going to be used now to cycle charge Cohort of Zotek. This is one engagement they do not want to stay in, though. I love the idea of cycle charging in, pushing down those little skinkies, treading them in the dirt, but Red Crested Skinks butcher cavalry in long engagements. Untitled falling back, likewise the Razors, and they've got a lot of ammunition left. You can see Deadly Bunny trying to rotate his forces around to this right-hand side as much as possible. Keep applying the pressure, keep forcing back these units. Chameleon Skinks are his friend here. Looks like both the Razors and Untitled getting a little over-eager here. They can rampage, so I think they need to just play this more patiently and get all the way around this left-hand side, move their Chameleon Skinks in, and reform the battle lines, though it is tempting, of course, to put pressure on the rest of the build. Balance power is currently in favour of ice power. Colin Riders hiding in the trees from now, though Chameleon Skinks are still putting on some nice work to them. Sword Spears are rampaging out of control. Feral Stallions do retreat. I think Nakai will have to come forward in the end game, perhaps. And I would like to have seen a Flock of Doom, I think, on the Skink Priest, because now the Manticore summons are done, he's just wasting Winds of Magic. Like, they're just sitting there not doing too much. The Cold Riders continue to fall back. Chameleon Skinks have a relatively solid ammunition left, popping onto the Cohort of Zotek, as well as doing some damage to the Skink cohorts. And it looks now like the Source Old Blood says now is the time, now is the hour. I've got rid of the Chameleon Skinks ammunition for the most part, and I can just start bullying Skink cohorts, which of course is every Saurusman's dream. Cold Riders also start to approach over here. Feral Stallions looking to get the charge in, and they have some pretty scary charge bonus. Source Old Blood needs to be careful, and we are now seeing the second Manticore summon from Deadly Bunnies being popped, the last of the game. Untitled can now start unleashing hell, though, into those Feral Stallions, doing some massive damage. Their damage value at the end of this game is going to be off the chain. Feral Stallions, though, still going relatively okay, despite the pressure they have received, and there's so much foot infantry left for Deadly Bunnies. That summon of the Feral Manticore has pushed the balance power very slightly in their favour. The Lizmen simply need to outlast it at this point. They have the ammo to deal with a lot of the large entities, but the Temple Guard, 72 models, looking very strong as we speak. Nakai is still vibing in the back there. It looks like the Cold Riders know he's here, though. Is he not hidden? I guess he can't hide because he's monstrous, and they're looking to finish him off. And if they can break him down, also, oh no! We've got a unit of 65 Saurus Spears, which need to be over here, helping pin back the tide, as the Razor's taking quite a beating as we do speak. But again, Chameleon Skinks basically out of ammunition at this moment, which is bad news for them. Feral Manticore pinned in by Cold One Riders. So if Nakai goes down, the big leadership penalty to Deadly Bunny's troops will be a big problem. And it looks like he doesn't see the charge either, so he doesn't even get the counter charge off. Nakai's going to try his best. These are the basic Cold One Riders, not the anti-large variety. So maybe he can break their leadership, but he's looking very low himself. 564 health, melee defense going strong. No way is he going to win this. No way. Primal Roar has been popped. He's rampaging, he's got the magic resistance. And the Cold Ones are popped, they can't even cycle charge, but Nakai does break himself. That's very unlucky there. It looks like he was actually going to be able to hold them back. Skink Chief has decent ammunition left. Final Manticore has been gone, though, and as you can see, the leadership on all these troops is about to drop as soon as Nakai leaves the field or is killed. Looks like 324 health. He's very close to the edge as well. It's all of a sudden going to be bad news. Chameleon Skinks continue to fire shots into the Temple Guard, which is a good idea. I'd like to see the Razor Hunters doing the same thing, because they got decent AP, and 85 armor is certainly no joke. Chameleon Skinks won't be too much of a threat to the Saurus Old Blood, you wouldn't have thought. Double Stegodon is a little scary, so Untitled into the Stegodons. Razors into the Temple Guard. I think that's the best way to do this. Let's see, is Nakai gone? Nakai is still routing. Minus 90 health. I think he's going to live to fight another day, which is what we like to see, though. Yeah, Nakai will live, which is obviously good news. But all of a sudden, the leadership on these two Feral Stallions doesn't look too good whatsoever. Nearly breaking even with no enemies nearby. So if the Untitled is enabled to get some shots in, it could be game over. Skink cohorts are really desperately trying to push back onto the Untitled and finish them off, but good cycle charging from Ice Power has allowed him to break these units. And now we have the Saurus with Spears coming back into the fray. They're kind of on the wrong side of the battlefield, though. You want them here in between, helping protect these Salamanders, but, you know, the battle's quite stretched. It's kind of one of those situations of, you gotta do what you gotta do. Razor hunting packs seem to be eyeing up those Feral Stegodons once more, and getting a few decent shots in. Feral Stegodon's health, yeah, getting burst down quite nicely. Chameleon Skinks are here, though, to try and overrun these guys, and I think Deadly Bunny still has a good shout. Chameleon Skinks pepper down these Saurus Spearmen, despite losing their Lord. They've got a lot of Temple Guard, they've got a lot of Saurus dotted all the way along, or Skinks more than Saurus, but still Chameleon Skinks can be very pesky, and not the worst melee stats in the world because of that poison coming in. Untitled once again lining up shots, as are the Razors, but having to fire into Chameleon Skinks. It looks like it has managed to break their leadership quite nicely. Vermintide might want to go for a quick hit and run. They do, though, get some big burst shots off onto the Pharaoh Stegodon, who has Rampage. Saurus Old Blood senses blood. These guys have fallen way too far away from their Saurus Spears and Temple Guard. Saurus Old Blood is coming in for the kill now. Apologies for the coughing, guys. The Pharaoh Stegodon has been forced off. The one that's slightly healthy has been hit by a cold-blooded, but the Saurus Old Blood is the blood. He does not care whatsoever. Breaks off both the Pharaoh Stegodons there. The lack of leadership really kind of starting to pay dividends here for the force of Ice Power. Razorn Hunting Pack once again manages to retreat. Their Chameleon Skinks are fleeing. Untitled being used in combat, though, are beating down those Chameleon Skinks, who are both wavering at this point, though the support of the Saurus Spearman is not far behind. They do actually start to break it. Saurus Old Blood now is going to feast upon Stegodon tonight. The Carnosaur has done a good job. Good boy so far. Up to only 19 kills, but he's got the impressive ones where needed. First Stegodon, yeah, minus 77 is completely shattered off the field. Balance power is still relatively even. Skink Chief continues to shoot into that Feral Stegodon, and these Temple Guard, 60 of them remain strong. Yeah, probably saving the ammo for them in the endgame is going to be the way to do this at the moment. Chameleon Skink still fighting the distance against Chameleon Skinks. It is a Chameleon Skink warfare right now, as these guys are just going to nip in, poison each other, and then bump and grind. The Untitled continue to rain fire down onto the Temple Guard, doing some nice damage to them. Razorns have okay ammunition left as well. How many models? 14. That's certainly not too shabby. Looking to get some of those darts in the back of the Temple Guard, and oh, this is scary. They're not able to use their shields because they're facing the wrong way. Down to 55 models, which isn't too bad, but there is Saurus Spearmen here, 65 of them. With the support of the Saurus Old Blood and the Horn of Kygor, could be scary. In the distance, with the Cold One Riders coming back from their slaying of Nakai, Skink Chief is being used to force off the Feral Stegodon, which isn't... I like this idea, actually. Using him to force him off with the Cold One Riders, because they could be terrified, and then it could come back, and then it causes you a load more problems. Big Flock of Doom comes down, lovely cast there, coming by Deadly Bunnies, catching so many units, and a Flock of Doom on Ice Power probably would have ended this game by now, because he just constantly Flock of Doom the Temple Guard to death. Chameleon Skinks holding back the Saurus Spears where possible. Skink Chief is alive, as well as the Skink Priest, so they can kind of keep this army fighting despite the loss of Nakai. Chameleon Skinks forcing back the Razordons as well as the Untitled, who are probably going to turn to fight this, just to bound in, get a little bit of shock damage, and the Fire Boys doing some roly-polies into here, easily going to be able to break off the Chameleon Skinks and then fall back once more away from those pesky Temple Guard. Once Temple Guard are dealt with, Saurus Old Blood should be in relatively good straits, just come in and assassinate the characters. Saurus Spears have okay AP, but nothing too fantastic. It looks like they are going to have to be forced to engage with their own Saurus Spear brethren, as well as these guys do dart towards each other for a climactic final showdown. And the high ground is with Ice Power, though, as these guys jump in, launch those spears down, do some nice damage. Skink Priest is in here as well. Horn of Geiger has been popped, though, increasing the melee attack by 24 of these Saurus Spearmen. That's going to be huge, and they're going to start just butchering their weaker Saurus brothers here. Cold-Blooded has been popped on the Temple Guard to try to keep them fighting. 41 models, but the Saurus Spearman with the Horn of Kygor can go toe-to-toe with them, although it looks like it has run out now. Got some cavalry up on the high ground, probably also start cycle charging into the back of the Temple Guard to try to break them out here. Saurus Old Blood having a whale of a time, just dancing around, trying to assassinate the characters and doing good work to the Temple Guard. And in comes the Cold One cavalry with the rear charges, and despite the Cold One being popped, Temple Guard struggling to hold on. They are actually very close to breaking here. Untitled have used up their ammunition, decide to dart into combat, and I think Ice Power shall win the dreaded Lizardmen mirror match. Poor Feral Stegodon carcass in the distance was beaten back by the Skink Chief and Cold Blood, and it looks like the skirmish of the Vermintide and the, not Max on Barbs, but the, oh my god, I forgot their name. What is their name? The Max and Barbs are the Regiment Renowned version. Where are you? Here you are. Razorns, there we go. The Razorns did prove pretty successful. They traversed the whole map. Oh, hell yeah. That was pretty cool. Who was the counter picker? Plebs Elite, also known as Deadly Bunnies. Vermintide, 1.6k damage value, 1.9 on the Razordons. Ugh, glorious stuff by them. Cold One Riders, not doing too much damage value, but dragging the car off the bow was really good for them. Chameleon Skinks, paying for themselves, doing relatively good. And likewise, the Saurus performing pretty solid. The Saurus Old Blood, though, 1,000 damage value, certainly not too bad. As for this build, I actually quite like this build. It's pretty cool. Pairing up Nakai, only 564 damage value on him, though. With the Stegodons, it's a nice touch. But as soon as they lost Nakai, and they don't get that buff to their melee attack anymore, they performed good. 722 damage value on one, 906 on the other. Temple Guard, only 445, though. Likewise, a lot of the Spearmen just kind of getting kited and dragged back, and it really does show that you need to be prepared for the kite in that mirror match. Not bad, I'd say. The first time trying the matchup, man. GG, well played. That was good. That was very good fun. So, the next map shall be Bloodpine. Bloodpine Woods. And this could be the final game in the stream, guys. If Ice Power manages to win it, it will be all over. The Deadly Bunnies, certainly proven to be a scary combatant, could come back here and bring the score level for a final showdown, which would be taking place on Storm Demon, which is such a cool name for a final showdown. GG, well played, says Captellus in Greed. I always confuse Razordons and Piggies. Oh yeah, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, GG, man. Yeah, lizardmen don't fight each other in lore, basically. The lizardmen are almost like programmed. Like, Source Warriors know battle formations on birth. They know how to fight, and they adapt, they evolve over time as well, which is really funny. Like, I don't think chameleon skinks were initially a thing, but when the lizardmen realised they needed to spread out past Lustre and into kind of dangerous territories, chameleon skinks then adapted and were born into the world so they could do that. It's really cool, the lizardmen lore throughout, and the way the spawning pools work. While I'm here, let's quickly... upgrade. Boop. Cool. Blackthorn, you're now moderator, by the way. I don't know which name's going to pip up, because you're also a channel member, which is, by the way, how you get that green name and that little cool duck icon. So, let's hop back into game. Didn't you lose this matchup earlier today? Yep, nice. Okay, so we're seeing Chaos from Deadly Bunnies into Empire. And yeah, I watched this on Ice Power's stream. He tried Gelt double Witch Hunter, nearly pulled it off, but unfortunately did eventually lose there. So it looks like he's going to give another swing at it as well. It was good to see, looking to adapt and improve as he does play. What are you guys most looking forward to, by the way? Now that you've seen a little cheeky teaser of Total Warhammer 3, is there anything in particular you're looking forward to? Any faction, any race? Personally, I'm going to be interested to see how Cathay is introduced into the game. Because I know nothing about them. I know a bit about rat ogres. Ogres. I know a bit about. I suppose I don't know too much about Chaos Dwarfs, but I know a little bit about them. I know a bit about the demons. I know a little bit about Kislev, but I just have no knowledge of Cathay. So I think that could be a really fun faction. Ice Power's ready to rumble. Looks like he has a build pretty much prepared. Yeah, this is as classic as you can go. And they are ready to rumble. Let's see. Juggernauts all day. Juggernauts are going to be fun, man. Oh, Blackthorn, you get like a little hammer, plus you get a little sigil as well. That's hilarious. The Dutch flavour says Zinch and Kislam all over it. Faith Seal and Gunpowder, baby. Captellus is a really good Empire player as well, so I'm sure you'll be pumped for this one. I'm really excited for Piggyback Riders, if they bring them in with Ogre Kingdoms. That's going to be like my unit. For those who don't know, it's basically a Noblar, which is their kind of version of Goblin, riding another Noblar, and that's their version of Cavalry. It's so funny, it's stupid. So for the forces here of Chaos and the mighty Deadly Bunnies, who's kind of on the back ropes, needs to come back swinging here and get a victory, has Forsaken and Chaos Marauders dotted through the front line. Always good to see Forsaken in action. We've seen them twice this tournament, don't get to see them terribly often. We have triple Chaos Knights with Lances and Kolek. This, again, a full gangster build coming in by Deadly Bunnies. Chaos Sorcerer of Fire, Burning Head, Flame and Sword of Rune, as well as a Scroll of Shielding. I love this pick. We also have 2 units of Marauder Horsemen, so not the most amount of skirmish this time, or not the most prepared skirmish, but still a decent amount. For the forces here of Ice Power, looking to claim the title here of the first ever No Greenskins tournament, which is a one-off, but again, it seems to be pretty popular, so if you guys like to see this more in the future, let me know, and I'll certainly try and make it a regular occurrence. We have Sigma Sons, Swordsmen as well, dotted through the front line. Some Halberdiers, hell yeah, I love Halberdiers, man, they're so cool. Relatively decent armor piercing, good anti-large as well, good staple troop now for the Empire, considering they got buffed not too long ago. We do have Pistoliers, and Outriders with grenade launchers. So a load of Pistoliers, a load of Outriders, some basic one grenade launcher, I believe. Maybe I'm tripping. No, one grenade launcher. We have some Empire Knights as well. Relatively cheap and cheerful cavalry, but they have 110 armor and can be pretty sticky, blocking in enemy troops. With Jade Wizard coming with Earthblood and Regrowth, and up in the skies we have the Might of Karl Franz floating in, and he will, let's see, is he going to be dual wielding his weapons? He is indeed. One hand he lifts Garmaraz high, the other the Reichland Runefang. He's going to be a pretty scary combatant, so I'm excited to see how this does fare. It's really going to come down to the skirmish phase, which is heavily favoured, of course, for the Empire, because they've only got to deal with these 2 horsemen, but then there's the Knights to contend with, which could be a big problem. And the front line of the Empire is just not going to stand. They're going to get slaughtered very, very quickly by the Forsaken. Been trying out a new build, but still in improvement stages, so it might suck ass. Good luck, have fun. No worries, man. I'm always like to see more experimental builds. For Sigma! Screams Captain Rum Panda. Yeah, Chaos Dwarf's going to be amazing. FSG, Faith, Steel, Gunpowder. What's up, Walt the Salt? How's it going, buddy? I hope you're all good. I think I cast actually a really cool game with you the other day. Seems to ring a bell. I think Empire versus Lisman, maybe? I'm not too sure. Cathay is probably going to be a Living Tomb Kings. I mean, I think they get dragons as well, right? I think the leader of Cathay is a dragon who can transform into a human. It's one of those distant factions which has lore, but not a huge amount of lore, which gives CA a lot of creative freedom, which I think they did wonders with Vampirates and what they brought to the table. So I'm pretty happy for them to kind of have that freedom. I think Games Workshop really trusts them at this point, which they certainly should do, because they've done a fantastic job. Right, Pistolers pushing forward. Likewise are the Outriders. Outriders grenade launchers going to be the bane of the Forsaken and the Chaos Model Rush. Horsemen do dart forward. They've got a lot of different targets to get through. Pistolers have been brought solely to counter them, I would assume. And yeah, those shots arcing in. Oh, that's a lot of dead horsemen straight out of the gate. I say a lot, too, but too many. Pistolers take a bit of damage, but Karl Franz swoops in, teasing out a cheeky little charge. Chaos Knights do drive forwards, looking to drive back the Pistolers, back to friendly territory as quickly as possible. Grenade launchers need to be careful, don't want to get caught out by the Horsemen. They come in with a few shots, but not doing anything too scary whatsoever. And the main battle line for the Empire forces is going to be retreating, looking to extend the skirmish phase as long as possible. Outriders are real close to these Chaos Knights, and Outriders don't actually have great AP despite the fact they have guns, so not much damage is getting through here. Oh no, some of the horsemen have been isolated by Empire Knights as a trap, and Karl Franz comes down, breaking them from the battlefield. That is really bad news for Chaos. They're going to need these guys. However, it has enabled them to get the Chaos Knights with Lancers over here with Kolek charging into the Empire Knights, and they should be able to kill these Empire Knights, I would think, for the most part. Outriders, though, far in, going to be getting some good damage value for the most part. Main battle line of the Empire now engaging. They turned around. It was a feigned retreat, looking to charge back into the fray once more. Pistolers and Outriders need to get moving where possible. Kolek Sunita having a whale of a time, gobbling up a few Empire Knights. I'm sure they'll digest nicely in his stomach. Karl Franz considering a charge there, I think, on the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire, but Kolek Sunita pops over to say, I don't think you want to do that, buddy. Not today. We have a huge fire burning the head coming down. Swordsmen and halberds both getting roasted. A lovely cast coming in by Diddly Bunnies. Catches a few Chaos Marauders, but certainly worth the cost. And the Empire Knights ramrolling some of the Forsaken into the path of that burning head. Karl Franz floating over here as well, isolating this target, trying to use his mobility to his advantage, although Forsaken will be falling back to relative safety. Halberds now losing up against Chaos Marauders on the front line, which certainly has to hurt here for their forces. Spearmen doing a good job now, actually pinning down Marauder Horsemen. And in the distance, Forsaken have shattered some Empire Knights, need to come back to the main engagement. Sigma Sun's about to be hit by the Fury of Thor and Kolek combined. Bam! Coming down, obliterating some of those poor Sigma Suns. They're standing and fight, they don't care too much if they take losses. More Marauder Horsemen have been forced back, Empire Knights driving them away, and now can cycle charge into the Chaos Marauders where possible. It's really going to come down to can he deal with the triple Chaos Knights, who've surrounded the Empire Knights with a Flaming Sword of Ruin popped. Karl Franz does escape, however. The Jade Wizard just vibing in the back here alongside the Spearmen, Pistoliers. And it looks like we may see another kind of late stage kite portion, I think, from Ice Power. Does he have the mobility? I mean, triple Chaos Knights, they're not slow. But the Outriders grenade launchers can certainly do some damage. Pistolers will over time, and the Outriders really can do some nice armor-piercing damage onto this blob. If it comes down to a fight between Kolek and Karl Franz, though, I know who I have my money on. Empire Knights continue to push away Horsemen and maybe want to cycle charge down these Forsaken before they can come back to the fray. Wouldn't be the worst idea. Pistoliers, though, now unleashing all their shots into those Marauders. Grenade launchers turn around, doing some lovely burst damage to them. The battle has become very stretched. If you have a look at the mini-map, top right, it's going all the way along. Another fat burning head is going to come down the line, roasting a lot of Forsaken, but at the same time getting good damage value on Spearmen, as well as the Sigma Sons. More Swordsmen and Halberds rally to the cause, however, and those Forsaken have been dealt with. Karl Franz going to try to jump over here and beat off the Forsaken? No, maybe not. Maybe not. Kolek's relatively on his own. Maybe Franz is coming in for the kill? I mean, he's guaranteed to get the charge, which is huge in these type of engagements with big single entities. Pistoliers continue to fall back, just 360 Noscopping some Chaos Knights, and good work there. Outriders cannot 360, which is a big problem. The Pistoliers don't do that much damage, but it certainly will all add up, and then once they're out of ammo, you can actually charge them into combat, which is pretty funny. Kolek continue to run from Franz, who's desperately trying to get over there to support, and the Empire have won the main field engagements now. We also have some more Pistoliers over here, and some more Horsemen who have come back skulking in the trees. And these Knights are allowed to catch the Outriders, which is terrible news, as the Forsaken as well might be able to pin these guys in. Outriders, flee! Flee for your lives! Nope, they've been caught. And if these guys all go down, that's a big loss. Although the Empire Knights hear the cries of the grenade launchers and charge headlong first in to their doom on these Chaos Knights with Lances. Brave men of Sigma trying to hold back the Knights, though more Knights are going to be piling on here to help support. Karl Franz just cannot catch Kolek. He's like trying his best, flapping those big bird wings, but not catching up. Grenade launchers are now shooting into the blob, which will get some nice value all round. Kolek is here to support though. Balance power dead even as some of the Pistoliers and Outriders manage to escape, but Forsaken are coming back in their droves. Pistoliers here, shooting into the rear of the Chaos Marauders. Looks like these guys are saying something. Oh, just good luck, have fun. Sometimes that pops up delayed for some reason. The Chaos Knight's getting a little low, and Karl Franz is pretty much full health, but so is Kolek Sun Eater, and it looks like the Outriders are falling back through the trees, just trying to reposition, get the best positions possible, and there's a lot of state troops who have rallied to the cause here. Ooh, that's rough. 89 Halberdiers. These guys are going to be a menace for those Chaos Knights if they don't get cycle charged to doom. Empire Knights are rallying over here as well, and it looks like for the most part Ice Power is moving his left-hand force here, kind of whipping it around the left-hand side, rotating back towards the main battle line, which is some good micromanagement by him. Big fan of that. Karl Franz could probably hop down here on these Chaos Marauders and force them back, but Kolek is nearby. Likewise are the Chaos Knights, who are taking considerable damage now, down to about half health on both of them. That Blood Roar on Karl Franz could prove pivotal as well in the later stages, giving that -2 leadership. Halberds charging. They really don't want to take a Burning Head because they're such a nice unit here, and they don't want us to face those Forsaken. Burning Head, though, is on the cards, and oh no, just as we cursed it. We're like, the Halberds don't want to take a Burning Head here. Take a Burning Head and get charged by the Forsaken. That's a dead unit of Halberdiers. That is really a good pick there from Deadly Bunnies. Of course, Ice Power trying to micro his cavalry instead. Battle lines once again have been formed. Ammunition running a little bit low on some of the Pistoliers, but again, still decent amounts on the Outriders and the grenade launchers. Continuing to try and deal with these Chaos Knights. Karl Franz is taking on Kolek. Starcrusher Standard Eye has been popped. Likewise, the Garmaraz and Reichland Runefang is. And these epic heroes of old. No! Just as we get the cinematic shot up, Karl Franz chops away and falls back behind enemy territory, which is probably the right move. Earthblood has gone down. He wants to cycle charge where possible. Spearmen take the charge of the Chaos Knights. Franz turns, though, to repay them in kind. And those Chaos Knights taking a bit of a beat in there as they do fall back. A load of Empire State troops retreat. Pistoliers continue to fire and pepper in. Pistoliers, Outriders, grenade launchers, all fighting together. Doing some decent work for those Chaos Knights who are getting really low now. Halberdiers as well, trying to chase down some more Lancers in the distance. And it may come down to Kolek trying to solo again, which we saw previously from Stormrunner, which was an amazing game. And Kolek nearly managed to pull it off. The Pistoliers continue to find a big bullet head. They're going to come down on top of them, and Ice Power's just about seen it in time this time. His horses turned around to retreat, got caught on themselves, and decided, you know what, we're going to take the damage this time, and actually we're needed to shoot in here. As Karl Franz is now surrounded by Chaos Knights. Flamesword Rune goes down, Scholar Shielding on Kolek as well, and the Chaos Sorcerer Lord goes after that Jade Wizard, although there are some Halberds here to support if need be. They're kind of needed in this main fight. Forsaken are here, some desperate Sigma Sons are still fighting somehow, and Karl Franz decides, you know what, I've done my bit, I'm going to retreat, wait for that buff to wear off, come back and fight another day. Some Pistoliers have been caught by Chaos Knights. The Outriders need to focus fire these guys down, just gain the mobility game, and more Outriders pouring shots in. The fact the Outriders have decent ammunition so far into the game is a real good testimony to Ice Power's micro, keeping that ammo conserved. but also a good boon, I think, for the Empire in the late stages, because these Empire Knights are slowly getting isolated, and Karl Franz is really a foe to be reckoned with. He's a bit glass cannon, but he hits like an absolute truck. So he's been staggered quite a lot here, and not been able to do any damage back, and in comes Kolek. Karl Franz tries to retreat, but Kolek comes in, big slam, and Deathclaw taking a bit of a hamper into the wings there. Outriders really want to deal the damage, the killing blow to these Chaos Knights, just get them off the field, because then he has complete mobility, and Outriders can freely then abuse Kolek here, who's taking quite a lot of damage, as a lot of the Empire State troops are retreating. Balance power very slightly in favour of the Empire. We have some Pistolers who are out of ammunition at this point. Kolek charges in, he's getting a regrowth, Karl Franz, sorry, charges in, not Kolek. Gets a regrowth as well, breaks off some of the Chaos Knights, which is huge. Now he can come over here, finish off this unit, pop over here, finish off this unit, and then the grenade launchers can hopefully deal with the Forsaken. Well, at least hopefully for the Empire at least. Although Kolek, I'd like to see a good comeback from him as well. I'm kind of rooting for Deadly Bunnies secretly, because I really wanted this series to go all the way to the 5 games. Pistolers just taunting Kolek, picking up their middle fingers and farting in his face, I'm sure, as they fall back. Although good pressure from Deadly Bunnies, aiming at the Outriders who have ammunition, which is certainly the way to do this. Poor Forsaken are getting peppered now by Outriders. I think these guys need to conserve their ammo, though, for the Knights, although for the most part the Knights are routing at this point due to good work by the Franzmeister, and I think Franz may carry this game in the end. He's going off the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire now, most likely, which is certainly a good idea. Just take away anything. If Kolek wants to chase Outriders, that's fine. Punish the rest of his build. If he doesn't chase Outriders and tries to protect his units, that's fine. You punish him with the Outriders. So it's looking a little rough now. I do love the triple Chaos Knight play, though. The Chaos Sorcerer Fire, yeah, not having a good day. As Karl Franz, right, and Runefound Galmarad has been popped, he's doing some really good work, and now he's going to simply trot away, get up into the skies, not taking any risks by turning to engage Kolek. No need when Star Crusher is popped, simply kite him, pistol him down, and then come in for the killing blow in the later stages of the battlefield. Outriders falling back, grenade launches up to 42 kills, now focusing down the Forsaken. Getting them off will probably push us into army losses. The Jade Wizard has flown too close to the Star Crusher. Run! Run, Jade Wizard, run! His horse must be absolutely terrified right now. It looks like he should just about be able to escape, praying to Sigma Auric and probably all the dark gods that he lives. It looks like Kolek will be breaking. Very well played to these two champs. Looks like Ice Power will be taking that game, and that means he will be taking the series 3-1. Lovely builds coming by both players, though. Certainly stuff you don't expect naturally throughout the course of their best of 5. Particularly Deadly Bunnies with his Chaos Knight play in the semi-finals and the finals here. Not getting much value here, though. 631, 929, 805. It's not terrible value, but not against this build. They kind of really did end up struggling quite badly. Forsaken, 963 here, 506, 775, and this is about as rock and roll as you can get for a build, particularly with Kolek coming in, 1,400 damage value, not shabby. 1.4k with the Chaos Sorcerer Fire, though, is a lot better. 114 kills, 16k damage dealt, to help clear out through a lot of the state troops and chaff of the forces. As for Ice Power, Karl Franz, the man, the myth, the legend, 2.3k damage value and full health at the end, is very scary. Empire Knights were sacrificial lambs to the slaughter, but they did a good job, as the Pistolers, who are very cheap, 723 damage value here, 640, Outriders 1.2k, and 1,000, grenade launchers 1,500. Really good work there. Halberdiers, yeah, not faring too well, but I guess up against Forsaken, never going to be too good. 1v1 me. Okay, but GG's, well played. Great set of games. Really fun builds this toy. Well played. So let's update the scoreboard here quickly. Boo 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 boo. Let's pop that over. So Ice Power, the mighty, shall be taking this one 3-1. He's won many a tournament, so I think in chat, I need your help right now. I had blocker up all game. Oh no! Oh no! Ice Power was streaming this and he had the blocker up all game. I mean, at least you can see it here, I guess. Before you guys go, I need 2 things on you guys. So, number 1. Well, number 0.5. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a thumbs up. Let me know as well. If you did enjoy the Greenskin format, you can pop it in my Discord, pop it underneath this video. Just let me know, and I can do more of these. But more importantly, Ice Power keeps on winning my tournaments, so I need everyone to scream in chat that Dark Elves are OP so loudly that CA can hear us, and they decide to nerf them. It is only right. Clearly, there was a welcome off the series. Cool, cool. The Emperor protects. I mean, he does though, I suppose. No one knows the sub-factions yet, CJ, but the factions are all the 4 demons, Kislev, and Cathay. Those are the confirmed ones, but there's many more to come. Yeah, he pulled a tour in. I have done it before as well, in fairness. Oh, that was some cool stuff. So, also, let's quickly find if anyone is streaming that we can send you to. Total Warhammer. Let's look for live streams. Boop. Like no one's really streaming Total Warhammer. Which kind of sucks. No. Oh. I'll find something to send you guys to. Let's just do one of my videos then. But I hope you guys enjoyed that one. What's chat feeling like? You feeling the no greenskins was good? Ice Power with ice in his veins. Yeah, he was cool, calm, and collected, man. He knew exactly what was going on. So I'm just going to drop a link to my latest video, because normally I drop a link so people can go watch streamers. But if you're not tired of Total Warhammer yet, here's a link to a video I did recently with some flying tanks, which hopefully you guys will enjoy. Thank you guys for the support as always, tuning in and cheering me on. We've had a pretty crazy live stream. We've got like over 100 viewers right now, and this is the end of the stream. That's really cool stuff. So, I don't know what chat rate means, but apparently we've got a good chat rate as well. So, what did you guys think? Peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome. The mouse clicking, yeah, man. That's basically at the end of every one of my videos. I like the format and would like to see variations of it. It's always nice to see unexpected matchups and gladiators forced off their comfort zones. Yeah, I think like something like elves only or good guys only, bad guys only could be really good fun. Thanks for the stream. Good. Tawny, thank you. Thanks for the cast and amazing games. Awesome, guys. Looks like you like it. Yeah, man. Okay, cool. Well, I'm off to go make a video. I'm going to eat some food first, and I'll go make a video, and that'll be up in a few hours. I think it is going to be Greenskin themed, but it should be pretty good stuff. So, until next time, guys. Peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.